I kind of know where you live.
Man, I dodged it like the Matrix. Just this one burned, that one burned. I don't know. God bless me. Nothing. No problem. I'm just like avoiding it. Even my friends, I posted, hey, I got a truck. If you need some help. Nobody in my, I don't know how. I know someone's going to come up to me tomorrow and tell me, hey, this affected me. But so far, I've been blessed to avoid it. And you're the closest one because at your house, something protected, good construction probably, but yeah. No, because concrete does not burn at that low a temp. I mean, it's got to be
all right. So listen,
hot.
Okay, everybody. There's rarely such a thing as a concrete house, although I shared pictures and stories of a house that was on PCH. Now, so here's the thing. I was a former builder, so when I see people building things in an unorthodox and different way, I take note of it, right? Same way you would do with MMA technique, you know what I mean? And there was a house, so PCH was mostly all burned with a couple examples of homes that made it. And there was one I was very curious about because I've talked to friends like Bill Simmons, and he was like, it's burnt all the way down PCH. And I was like, there was a building, and Dawson remembers me talking about it. And I even took pictures of it and sent it maybe to Joe, probably to Chris before that. It's in a computer somewhere, of a triple or double lot wide in the middle of PCH. Now, that would be where Nobu, kind of where Nobu is, but they built a modern house. And they did formed, poured concrete, monolith slab all the way up the front and all the way around the place. I mean, just formed. You'll see the holes in it. Those are where the form ties are. They put them through the plywood so it doesn't blow out the forms. And then they pump concrete. And you can just see it going all the way up about 2.5, 3 stories. All 4 corners. They poured this whole building in place, rebar. It's a bomb shelter. And I assume they did it at the time because PCH, that's it. Yeah, I took pictures of it. PCH, we got to tighten up on it a little. It's very loud. And so it gets real quiet when you pour these concrete walls in front versus stucco and 2x4s or wood cladding or lath or whatever, windows and everything else. But this is wildly unorthodox, just full slabs of concrete.
Yeah, I can't imagine why it would be unorthodox here in California where things burn all the time. I'm imagining a 3D printed concrete structures.
Well, maybe there'll be a lot more of that. But this stuff it's very expensive to build this way, is what I would say. It's what you do is now you can see that the forms are about 8 feet, and then there's a break, and then there's another form, and it's about 8 feet. Look, if you guys want to know everything, a piece of plywood is 4 foot wide and 8 foot tall. So when you start seeing forms and stuff, it's all pieces of plywood. That's where you see the lines are, 4 foot wide, 8 foot tall. So what they do is they take plywood, and they do a front side and a back side, and they make it like a foot thick, and they put these wires with little nuts on it, little threaded pieces. Those are formed ties, so they can pump concrete into it, not blow it out. You feel me? Then they put tons of rebar in it, and then they pump it, but they leave the rebar running wild at the top, so they tie the next set of rebar into it and put the next set of plywood forms on it and pump the next set. Anyway, this house remained. Because you couldn't burn this. You could fly one of the planes that hit one of the twin towers into this thing, and it would be fine. So these people built their house like the little piggy that built the house out of bricks and not out of straw or what have you. So there's a way to do it. The new world order will be nothing on the exterior of the house that can catch on fire. All the wood, all the trim, all the eaves, all that stuff. None of that.
Yeah, there was a house in Orange County, a big house in Orange County that survived wildfires because of the construction.
Yeah. Now, so I was marveling at this place the whole time they're building it, and they finished this build, and this is $100 million house. They finished this build 8 months before the fire. So I was like, oh my God, they spent 5 years building this house, and then if they just finished it and the fire swept through, but it remained, and some of it is the building. Well, that's a lot of it. The building techniques, and then a lot of it's just weird luck of the draw. But what people say all the time is like the house is cement on the outside. They don't mean cement. They mean stucco.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think stucco might have saved your house. Yeah, it rubbed your knuckles, but guess what? It's a high temperature burn. You know.
So here's how stucco works, just for everybody. They frame the house with wood. The wood frame. Then they take lath, which is called K-lath, which is a tar paper with metal chicken wire type grid on it, and they staple it. They nail it to the outside of the house. Then the Mexican comes along, and he's got his
trowel,
yeah, and he's got his hawk,
yeah,
and he mixed up his stucco, and he uses a notch trowel, and he puts a notch.
He ices the cake.
He ices the cake, but it's got lines all over it because he uses a trowel that's notched.
Yep.
And it's all notchy, so it'll take the next one. Then he waits for that one to dry. Then he puts the next coat on. That's called the brown coat. Notch coat, brown coat.
Yep.
Third coat's the color coat.
Yeah.
What color is your stucco?
Yeah.
That one's thin. Now, when you're done, you got about 1.1 inches of cement product all around your house.
High temperature,
Yeah, and if it's going into aluminum windows or metal windows and there's no eaves hanging over with TNG and, a 2x6 eaves hanging over the top or whatever, and fascia and that kind of stuff made out of a 2x6, then there's really not that much to burn.
I know some of those letters.
So that's what they're shooting for. I mean, that's what shall be. Now, like my condo has sprinklers in it.
Yeah.
Not on it, but in it.
Anything caught inside, they would have took care of it.
Yes.
But what about the neighbors, bud? I mean, I guess you haven't been back, so
I haven't been back.
Yeah.
I have not been back. And the question is when are we going back? I don't know. I'm running out of socks, bro. I'm running out of stuff to wear.
Bro, and you got to get off my couch, really.
Drew offered up his pool house to me about 20 minutes ago, so that's
nice.
That's good. Also, in this, Joe's got a few of the tweets, but somebody a day or so ago just, I think, innocently tweeted me and said, "What's going on with the Newman cars? I hope the collection is safe." Now, I think that's a reasonable thing to ask. Maybe not a reasonable thing to ask, or maybe it would have been insensitive day one. I mean, not to me, but for others. But once everyone is safe and the structure's in place,
yeah,
then I think it makes sense to say, what about the Newman car collection? Because they're one of one. And look, if you had an original couple of pages from the Declaration of Independence, I think it'd be reasonable to ask 4 or 5 days after the fire, how are the pages from the Declaration of Independence doing?
Yeah.
How's the Shroud of Turin doing?
Yeah, we all care.
How's the Magna Carta doing that you own? You have a correspondence letters from Davy Crockett.
Yeah.
Are those okay? I think that would be a reasonable thing to ask 5 days in.
Your original Child's Play Chucky doll.
Yes. So what I get is Timothy Cody says to me, "Hope your Newman car collection is okay. An update would be appreciated." So I'm sitting in my Vegas hotel room, and I thought, oh, yeah, people think the collection may be, because all of Los Angeles is on fire, and the collection was formerly in Los Angeles. So I then wrote back, Joe will find this somewhere. I then wrote back, no, I did not write that back. All right, if we can get it together here, people. We knew this day was coming for us. It's funny, we do the planning of this stuff, but then when we try it, there's always,
But I just
always a little
I just
confusion.
was checking to see if you were still watching Earthquake while the fire was going on and just hanging out.
All right, so then I have a response, and my response is they are all safe in a Reno museum. To the person who wanted to know if the collection was okay and he wanted an update. So I wrote back later that day, probably moments later, they are all safe. And then I got this response from a woman who was reading this correspondence. And that's the one where we say, or we do not have what we just saw, or do we? Or is it? Are the computers slow, or are we slow, or how does this work? She wrote, because vintage cars are your biggest concern right now. I think she was being sarcastic, but that was a jab at me and Timothy, who asked. I'm so fucking tired of bitches doing this. Vintage cars are not my biggest concern right now. I was asked by somebody, how's it going? And it's been long enough that I know everyone around me is safe, including myself. So I thought it would be okay to answer this person who asked about cars. By the way, vintage cars, at least my vintage cars, are a pretty big concern to me. And they are a bigger concern during fires because that would have a higher chance of losing them. But anyway, I wrote back as I wrote to everyone during COVID, yes, hero, that's my number one concern. Yes, that's all first off, bitch, I didn't bring it up. Somebody brought it up days after the fire and just asked what the status was. And I simply replied, they're in Reno, so don't worry about it. That's it. I didn't say they were the jewel in the crown of the Carolla monarchy, or that's all I cared about, or I haven't inquired about my kids, but I have inquired about the cars. I just said they were fine and in Reno. And also, first off, Shamazila? Schmeezel is her name. I have no idea what your raison d'etre is. I don't know what you do. I don't know what your plan is, but what the fuck is becoming your life? I have no fucking idea who these people are. What is wrong with you? Somebody inquired about a collection I have, and I told the person they were safe and in one place. I didn't do a soliloquy on it. I didn't talk about the insurance. I didn't talk about the value. I didn't talk about loving them more than my children or my dog. I just said they're fine. And then you had to take a jab. You have to take a jab I've been wearing the same fucking socks for 4 days, and I'm living out of a garbage bag in a shitty hotel in Burbank. Do you need to take the jab, or can I just answer the person
Vintage
who went
cars
about
are
the
your
car?
biggest concern right now?
And listen, bitch, you don't care about vintage cars. Good. I don't ask about your butt plug collection. I stay out of it. Just stay out of it. This is a person that wanted to know, and I gave them an answer. Why does it even involve you? But anyway, so then I wrote back, yes, hero, that's my number one concern, even though I've never fucking spoken about it until I was asked. And then she wrote back to, I think she wrote back to the person who asked the question. Am I right?
I think that's what
Joe?
she was aiming at. You were just like caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, she was replying to Timothy.
Okay.
But,
and then I got
but to
caught.
both of you.
I got caught in the collateral, and then she wrote back to Timothy.
We've got to throw up the exchange. We can kind of scroll through. She replied to Timothy a lot. She replied to a lot of people who replied to the thread.
Oh, okay. So what did she write when she was replying?
Schmooze starts in a negative space, somebody said, and she said, how's this for negativity? Go suck a giant dick, loser. God, I feel elated now. Positivity is invigorating.
I really like this lady.
That kind of turned the corner on her,
I
too.
got her back on I'm back on her side.
Look. Okay, can we just break this down, Mayhem?
Yeah. I'm into it. Game footage.
In general, I have to tell people all the time, I didn't start any of this. You put yourself, you entered this thing. You didn't need to do it. I've had many an argument, especially with women, where I just went, I didn't ask for any of this.
Yeah.
I was just trying to fix this or do this or whatever this. There's no reason for you, even no one reached out to you. Somebody, let's put it to you this way, a number of days after the fire, or at least after the imminent threat of the fire had passed my particular area, family, friends, and so on and so forth, somebody asked the very logical question of, what about, look, someone asked William Shatner, what's going on with the horses? Are the horses okay? Why? He has horses. So they want to know, how are the horses? Yeah. All right. I have horses power in terms of race cars. Now you can go, well, one is one of God's creatures. The other, well, listen, they're one of one. If they perish, there'll never be another. And they have a value, but they have a historical value to them as well. They're Paul Newman's race cars. They're one of one. It's perfectly logical for somebody to inquire, how are they? Did they perish in the fire? Okay. So they inquired, and then I said, they're in Reno. They're safe. And thanks. Okay. There is no reason for you to enter this conversation.
But she need to inject herself into it so that she could be the center of attention and then have a Twitter war. I guess they call it an X war now. But yeah, she's in there responding to every comment, it looks like. So this is all about her.
There's a ton of her.
Great.
She's sort of shitting on you for how much you're concerned, but then she replies to 100 different people about this.
Yeah.
I'm also, okay, I got a lot of thoughts. I have the other thought are the people who you bring something up and they go, why are you obsessed with this? It's like, no obsession. Somebody just asked how the cars were doing, and I said they're doing good because they're not here. That person thought the cars were in L.A. because they were in L.A. for 15 or 20 years. And then recently they moved to Reno where there is no fire. So I thought I would inform them of that. But she wants to do battle. But you know what I love about these people? It's a woman thing, mostly. They then, at some point, they pour a glass of white wine and they explain to their friends what's going on in the world, what's with all the stress. I can't fucking believe it. You can't even turn on the TV or pick up the phone anymore without somebody fucking attacking you. Fuck Elon for buying Twitter because he's letting all this hate speak. It's like, bitch, you did it. You inserted yourself into this and then started all of it. And then at some point.
See, you've never seen this, I don't think.
I don't.
A very toxic chick, man. Toxic chicks that are really like to argue. This is just sparring for her. They're like, she's just like getting her arguments down for whatever dumb schlub starts banging her.
All right. So what else does she have to say? She told one guy to eat a dick.
At one point she says, we get it. You like butting into somebody. This whole thing is her butting in on a conversation she wasn't a part of.
Well, number one, all of this stuff is all projection. I'm now realizing that every fucking nutty broad I speak to, every politician I hear from, it's all projection. They just project and then they get involved, and then here we are. So
someone defends you by saying people do this thing called multitasking, insinuating you can be concerned about the fire and whatever, and also reply to people about your cars. And she says,
multitasking is when you beat off while changing a tire, not yapping on social media about vintage cars while thousands of homes and loved ones into a devastating wildfire. But thanks for chiming in, asshole. I'm telling you, I dated that girl.
Wait a second.
She's married to a brilliant, handsome Navy vet.
Well, read that again slowly, Joe. You read about, well, I'll read it. Multitasking is when you beat off while changing a tire. I don't know where she went to finishing school. I like where her head's at, but I've changed a lot of tires. And I've done a lot of beating off. But I've never made a peanut butter
I
cup.
have.
You have?
I have, yeah.
You beat off while changing a tire?
Yeah, I changed the tire. It's taken so long to get to pick me up that I just, threw a nice beat. Yeah.
You know, it's a good joke. I come by and I go, got the space saver out? And you go, no, it's a full-size tire. And I go, I'm talking about your cock. All right, so multitasking is when you beat off while changing a tire. Not yapping on social media about vintage cars while thousands lose their homes and loved ones in a devastating wildfire. But thanks for chiming in, asshole. Okay, couple things. How much of this is just making themselves heroes? Because all I got during COVID was people going, I have an autistic brother who I take care of, and I don't believe it's a lot of me, like I'm going to take a stand. I'm doing something for these people. Yapping in the media about your vintage cars. Also, so there's a lot of stuff where I get asked questions and I answer them. I don't bring a lot of stuff up, but I will answer them. But that's not me yapping in the media about my vintage cars, as much as I'd love yapping in the media about my vintage cars. But also, here's another thing. My cars being safe in Reno and me talking about my cars has nothing to do with anyone who lost their house. This is another chick think thing, which is like somehow me talking about Paul Newman's cars has emptied the aquifers, and that's why the fire hydrants have no pressure. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with my cars. I could either talk exclusively about vintage cars or never talk about vintage cars ever again, and it would not change by 0.1% anything that has happened to anyone in their building, their loved ones, their schools, or their churches. So there is no anything to do. Now, if somebody said, Adam, you are a you're a paramedic, and you're part of the Paramedic Reserve Corps, and we need you to come out to the Palisades. And I said, I can't. I'm busy talking about my vintage cars. Then maybe that would have some effect. But considering I'm just sitting in a hotel in Vegas and I'm a comedian and a podcaster, then no. How many responses did she give? And then why? Here's the other thing, too, I want to say to everyone. What happened that you have this kind of energy for everything? Because this is really something you should have zero energy for if in your her. Why so much energy?
No, what do you mean? She's sitting there on the toilet texting this for an hour and a half. She's watching Love is Blind Germany. You know, she's like multitasking. She's jerking off, changing the tire.
Nobody pays attention to her in real life.
Nah, yeah, I bet she does. I bet she's annoying to everyone. I'm telling you. I know this chick. I'm
The
pretty sure
easiest way to determine how many times she replied would be going back in her Twitter and counting. But I have been scrolling from the top of her Twitter down for a solid 90 seconds, and I'm not through yesterday.
Yeah,
She
nice.
spends her whole day replying to people on Twitter.
Yeah, she has a work from home job.
I get when you get into a scrum with someone on Twitter and it's something you feel passionate about and you blame Newsom for the fire hydrants being empty and this other person defends Newsom. This guy, there's no meat on this bone. It's just a car collection that I have that people ask where it is, and I said it's in Reno. That's all.
See, but again, you're attributing your wisdom to this lady. This lady has a narrow focus, so every comment at her was a chance for her to fire back. See, you guys are not understanding, but she just spent the whole evening. She's like, she had her dance card booked all night with Twitter.
I wonder how her Navy SEAL hero husband feels about this, because this got to be the opposite of how this guy.
She
rolls.
is also she tweets a lot about COVID. In her bio, it says prosecute Fauci. And then recently, even after that reply to you, she replied to a different tweet from you saying, "Can you go one podcast without bringing up COVID?" So she has prosecute Fauci in her bio and wants you to stop talking about COVID. So she's mentally ill.
Okay. All right. And by the way, nobody hates Fauci more than me, bitch. Come on. All right.
She can't even see allies. That's how much she likes to fight.
We need to take a break. Alan Hamill. Now, Alan, of course, you guys know as long time husband to Suzanne Summers. I know Alan Hamill as a talk show host and a guy I used to watch on TV. My supermarket was Alpha Beta. Alpha Beta was like poor man's Lucky's. Like picture your low end market.
Yeah.
You know, we had the hierarchy. You had Gelson's at the top, Ralph's, Safeway in the middle.
Food Lion, Winn-Dixie, Piggly Wiggly for me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so why don't we, you know, it's funny because you could do a kind of trifecta hierarchy with everything. Like you could go, like me growing up, Levi's, Tough Skins underneath, JCPenney super denim at the bottom.
Dickies, Levi's, or 501. And then there was just like ghetto pants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Schwinn,
Yeah.
Raleigh, Huffy.
Oh,
That's it. So, by the way, I was at the bottom of all the lists. So I'm telling you, I don't need to talk about your family, your origin, what your dad did for a living. You tell me Levi's, Schwinn, Gelson's. I'm like, okay, pretty fucking good childhood.
Yeah.
You tell me super denim, Huffy, and Alpha Beta.
Individual
I'm like,
economic indicators.
Yes, I only need those three. This is the bike. You had a Schwinn, you had Levi's, and you rode it over to the Gelson's. You're doing okay for yourself. Yeah, so I was Huffy, Alpha Beta, super denim, at JCPenney. So Alan Hamill did the commercials for
Alpha Beta.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I knew him.
He was personal
He's
to
a
you.
Canadian guy. Anyway, he's a friend. And he told me the last time we went out to dinner in Malibu, because he loves Malibu, he did 25 minutes on the Coastal Commission and trying to rebuild and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of people speculating, are we going to be able to expedite all this?
And he's the guy who never got his house rebuilt, so he didn't even have it burned down.
Yeah. We got him in an Alpha Beta commercial just because it's fun.
Way.
Alpha Beta was in North Hollywood, in a bad part of North Hollywood, and my dad lived in a crappy apartment in North Hollywood, and we used to shop there, and my dad would buy like 99-cent steaks, put them on a frying pan with no fucking handle. My dad's frying pan handle. Here's another thing. Okay. My family would never buy a piece of furniture or a pan, a pot or pan or anything like that. They would just get recycled. They would get an old sofa and tuck a sheet into it. I didn't know you could buy new stuff. So my dad's old shitty pans, they heat cycled. And after they heat cycled, the plastic handle would bust off because it would heat cycle too many times. But we didn't throw it away or buy a new one. You just had to use a towel or your sleeve or a T-shirt to put the pan. And my dad he was the only full-blooded Italian that never owned olive oil. He didn't know what olive oil was. He didn't know what salt, he didn't season it. He just took this 99-cent steak that he got at Alpha Beta, and he just throw it in this pan and just turn the flame on and just burn on both sides and go, okay, then there's your dinner. So the Alpha Beta is where we used to walk to in North Hollywood. Here's Alan Hamill, by the way.
Hi, I'm Alan Hamill at an Alpha Beta market, and with me is...
Hisai Beamit.
Isai, how long have you been shopping at Alpha Beta?
Almost 10 years.
Why?
because I see blue stickers all over the store.
Are these the things that you buy? Have you been saving some
Little
money?
English would be
That's
nice.
really nice. Do you have a friend you'd like to tell?
Yes.
Go ahead, right out there.
Okay. Keiko-san, いらっしゃい. Alpha Beta.
Oh,
Yes,
out there. Alpha Beta
that's
for
cute.
extra reduced prices.
that's the Alan Hamill I grew up watching, and later married Suzanne Summers, and we hung out. We'd go to Alan. I'd be invited to Alan's house. He's in Palm Springs now, and a great guy. 89 years old, or still going strong. But I want to hear his story of the Coastal Commission. So he's gonna chime in later. Take a quick break. Got a lot more. The Coastal Commission is like 8 or 9 super woke, youngish, lefty environmental douchebags who don't live anywhere near the coast and hate anyone who has enough money to live near the coast. And they're there, they say, to protect the coastline, but they're really there just to tell everyone to fuck off who
They don't
tries to
live
do
there?
everything. I don't
figured you gotta live there.
I don't think they could afford to live near the coast in LA. But there was a tape we played several months ago, which is Elon Musk wanted to launch at Cape whatever, Fort whatever, up Ventura County, up the coast from the fires, probably about 45, 50 miles toward San Francisco, toward the north. And they don't like Elon's tweets. They don't like who he's friends with or whatever it is, so they weren't going to let him launch, which is to say it's all politics. It has nothing to do with launching. It has everything to do with, I don't like that guy because he's rich and he's white and he's friends with Trump. So that's who they are, and that's essentially why Alan Hamill doesn't get to rebuild. So just so you know, and again, I'm hoping, well, not hoping, I kind of like it, but you're not supposed to say this stuff out loud. If you're a black fire lady, you're not supposed to make fun of men who get stuck in a burning home saying it's your fault. You can get drunk and think that, and you can tell it to your girlfriends, but you can't say it into a camera lens. And if you're the Coastal Commission, you're not supposed to say when you're mic'd up, we're going to tell Elon to go pound sand because we don't like his politics. You're not supposed to say that because that's not supposed to factor into your decision. Your decision is how much does this impact the coastline.
Well, we're in a new era of tribal politics.
Right, but I think people are going to start shutting the fuck up.
Yeah.
What I mean is at some point we're going to elect a new lesbian fire chief. And then someone's going to say, hey, lesbian fire chief, the gay parade's coming down the street. Why don't you pick up the gay flag and put your fireman uniform on and walk up and down, and then we'll film you high-fiving the bears, the trannies, and the he-she's. And then that person's going to have to think, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that because in 3 years, when the entire city burns down and people are calling me incompetent, I don't want that footage running behind the news story.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, we have the Coastal Commission saying whether they're going to let Elon launch or not.
This is the lesbian?
That could be a chick.
You all work, but I do share some concern from the Commissioner Wilson brought up because of the fact that, last year we did see, the owner of Starlink shut down Starlink when one of our allies was going to attack one of our adversaries.
That's not true, by the way. He's not a commissioner. He was just testifying. So left-wing radicals go out.
Well, I guess that'll be Hugh Hewitt there, but I don't know. We probably have a better clip of that doesn't just talk about Starlink, but talks about what I was talking about, which is his texts and tweets and things. But you can take a little time and find a good clip, is what I'm saying. And it'll always be the clip I'm talking about. So if I don't say Starlink, then probably not.
That's the one we had in our history about Elon
No,
and
we
Coastal
had
Commission.
No, we didn't have Hugh Hewitt doing this breakdown, or maybe we did. Maybe it's the second. Maybe it's the second
clip.
after
the
Hugh
ladies,
Hewitt.
yeah.
We got to the ladies a little bit
the
later.
ladies argumenting. Yeah, there's like
Maybe it's the one after this is what you can do. And you can also scrub forward if you want and find that. So we'll see if we can find that. It's also salad days for the sign language guys. The sign language guys, I think it's a California thing.
You always have a guy on the side busting American Sign Language off to the side.
Yes. Which I think it's more of a Democrat than a Republican thing. I think it exists on both sides, but if it's a California Democrat thing, that guy is not only in the frame, but he's banging elbows with whoever's giving the speech. Like, he is up in their shit. Like, they're right there. And the guy is kind of stealing the show, because while the talking head stiff fire chief lady's just droning on, this guy's going full. He looks like the Australian breakdancing chick.
I know.
Like, he's in full
ray gun.
He's in ray gun. He's in full ray gun mode. And I end up watching that guy, not really listening. Also, again, you can just put the closed caption on your TV and read everything the person is saying. Mm-hmm. But the purists say that's not American Sign.
Yeah.
American Sign is its own language.
And they have to do facial expressions, and you have to watch the whole person's body. I get it. If I was deaf and like knew American Sign Language, and it's like up to the minute, kind of, I would want to know immediately, spoke to in my language. But I get it too. We got closed caption. We got predictive closed captions.
You can read verbatim what the person is saying via closed captioning.
But it's a delay, so you don't see it immediately.
Listen, it's not the biggest thing in the world. It's just funny to me that these guys have had. First, COVID was the greatest thing that ever happened to these guys. And then part two of these coastal fires, where these guys are just animated, going nuts. I would also argue that it is, while I like enthusiasm and I like that you're doing your job with vigor, you can't steal focus.
But you have to. The ASL is like, the reason it's so funny to us, because we don't know the language, so it looks like they're mugging and blah, but they have to like perform, the facial expressions. I know. It's a very strange
Well, how about,
language.
Can we do the box thing where they're down on the bottom eighth or something, rather than banging elbows with Newsom, making fucking crazy faces and pulling.
He's just in a truck, in a Sprinter van. Doing the pop lock.
You're pulling a lot of focus.
Yeah.
All right, so we have some of that. We also have Coastal Commission if we have it. You can put it on my screen if we have. You can write if we have it, Byron, or whomever's pulling it. Here it is. Let's see.
Elon Musk is hopping about the country,
Gretchen
spewing
Newsom.
and tweeting political
All right, started from the
falsehoods
beginning. Sorry from the whatever. Go ahead. There we go.
Right now, Elon Musk is hopping about the country, spewing and tweeting political falsehoods and attacking FEMA while claiming his desire to help the hurricane victims.
Okay, so anybody, you don't think they're corrupt politically? So that's who you're dealing with the Coastal Commission.
The apolitical nature under which you all work.
Apolitical, except for they're totally politicized. And that's why we don't have desalination plants or anything. We don't have anything because these people won't let us do it. But it's basically 8 retards holding millions of people hostage with their politicized policies, which I think is going to have to go.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think that everyone is now like fomenting the dissonance. Like everyone's getting angry at the word Democrat now. And people are starting to catch hold of that idea.
Well,
in California, I should say, because
they just need to reel it in and go back to the Bill Clinton era of Democrat, and then it'll be fine.
But it sounds like we need like sweeping deregulation for a lot of industries to get the California back to a growth status instead of people leaving.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can do it, because it's hard for them to do it. Mike August was telling me they're not going to do it. They can't help themselves in doing it. I said, well, Mike, they got real gougy when it came to the film and TV industry, and the film and TV industry just left. They just went to Canada, and they went to Atlanta, and they went to New Mexico.
Exactly.
They went to Prague. They just got up and left. So at some point, the LA city council and the mayor and everyone went, you know what? We're a little bit greedy. So we're going to lower the taxes and lower the regulations. So come on back. So they know how to backtrack when people are leaving.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm saying. Now, they usually wait till people leave in order to backtrack and try to get them back. But I think they're going to have to adapt because, and so let's really kind of see if we can be consistent here. Regulation is good to a degree, and then it has to stop. Because once it keeps going, it becomes burdensome, is what I'm saying. So it's like when Jimmy and Adam Perry Lang opened a restaurant on the West Side, I was asking Adam, how's the takeout business going? And he said, we're not open for the sandwich and the takeout business, which is going to be some of their business. And I said, why not? He said, well, because by the window where we slide the window open to hand people their sandwiches, we don't have our blower defector thing, not defector, but deter thing blowing so a fly can't blow in. You know what I mean? So we don't have that signed off on yet, so we can't hand people sandwiches, so we can't do it. So I said, yeah, but there's a guy 8 feet in front of you on the sidewalk selling ghetto dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
That he's making up on top of a shopping cart with a propane tank on it. That guy's fine. Yeah, that guy's fine. And right before I got here, right before the fire started, I was telling you guys at the Equinox I was at, the sauna was too cold because they couldn't turn it up higher by law because the sensor was above it. And the snack bar wasn't open because they didn't see because they over-regulate, and that's what it. Now, saying there's a health inspector, okay, and saying that the mayonnaise can't get into the 80 degrees because it'll go bad and people get food poisoning, fine. All cities have that. All states have that. They're rules. I get it. When you make a freeway overpass, it's here's what number rebar we're using, and here's how far it's going to be spaced out, and here's the concrete we're using.
Standards.
And fine. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. But then we have to stop at some point, and Los Angeles doesn't stop, and that's when it becomes burdensome. I never forget, and I've had many, so I've been doing battles with inspectors my entire adult life.
Yeah.
And first when I was in the business, and then later on when I was just doing stuff for myself. But like famously, I was installing a dishwasher in my home. And the guy came in, the inspector. I was trying to get the final on the kitchen. And the guy came in and he goes, there's no breather. The breather is that weird little 3-inch round snorkel thing that sits on top of every counter that used to be on every counter for the dishwasher. You'd hear it when it'd be filling or draining. Yeah. It's like a breather, a breather. And it used to be on every one. If you think about it, you don't see them anymore, but it was a part of our childhood, that weird chrome breather
I thought
thing.
It was new designs don't need that.
It was it was basically so the waste water didn't cross over and get into the clean dishes or whatever it was. Okay. So that's how it used to be. Now this is like 2001, maybe 2000. So it hasn't crossed over yet. Now it's crossed over. So I said, the guy came in, was going to give my final. And he goes, where's your breather? And I said, well, you know what? I got one of these Fisher Paykel high-end new dishwashers. And if you look at the manual, page 32A, it's installation with the breather. And then page 32B is installation with the hoop of the air gap loop thing or whatever. But you don't have to have a hole in the top of your countertop. Where I, by the way, had a soap dispenser. And this guy said, we got to have a breather. And I said, well, the people that manufacture this product say you can install it without a breather, and here it is. And it would be a liability if there was a problem from the manufacturer. And the guy goes, you got to have a breather. And I said, well, I don't want a breather. I don't want to drill a hole in the countertop and put this stupid 3-inch snorkel thing. But also, these guys invented a dishwasher that doesn't require a breather, and they're smarter than we are because they're from Europe, and this thing's like $1,200. And he said, give me the manual. I'll take it in to my supervisor, and I'll have him look at it.
Is Coastal Commission lesbians all huddled around your
my breather, my manual. So I said, yeah, good. Show him page 32B, breatherless installation. Just show it to him. Guy came back, and a couple days later, he goes, yeah, we looked at it. He wants a breather. I said, okay, come back tomorrow. I'm going to schedule it for tomorrow. So, okay. I never forget it. I got under the fucking sink and I undid the soap dispenser I had there. I then took a breather and like sat it on there and pulled a hose. We affectionately call it jerry-rigging now. We used to call it something else on the job site. Put the hose up. Remember turning the hose clamp and having the flathead blade screwdriver slide off and cut my knuckle and just go, hooked it all up. Guy comes back next day, sees the breather. I go, you give me a final? Goes, okay, I'll give you the final. Gives me the final. As the guy was pulling out of my driveway, I was underneath the goddamn thing, undoing the breather to throw it out, to put the soap dispenser back in, to do it the other way. That's what we're trying to avoid. Not the part where you put rebar in your concrete, and not the part where you don't use ocean water to mix with the concrete and deteriorate the concrete. None of that. Just the stuff that doesn't make sense. Yeah. That's all. Which we have a lot of. Speaking of that, where's my toilet?
It's in Nevada. I'm just waiting to someone to pick it up. Rudy, somebody pick it up. You need me to go out there? I got a truck.
I got a truck too. I want my urinal sink.
Yeah.
That they will not ship to California.
Wait, why are you confessing to crimes against the state of California right now?
First off, they can all suck my dick. I've been doing this for 1,000,000 years. They won't ship. If it's an exhaust system for your car, if it's a urinal that has a sink above it, if it's laminated glass versus tempered glass or vice versa, if it's a flueless gas fireplace or whatever it is, it's always 49 states, not California. You have to send it to somebody else in Nevada, and they have to truck it in. So your dad has my urinal.
Yep. Urinal sink is en route, I guess. I don't know. Somebody's like, look, my dad said this thing's weighed 200 pounds. If I was a weaker man, I couldn't have dragged it into the garage. So
we had it sent to your dad.
Yeah.
Shit, I drove in from Nevada yesterday.
I know. And I forgot to tell you.
Well, when Rudy, who's out there, comes this way.
He already, I wouldn't even mention him, but he already said he'd do it. So I'm waiting on him to bring it out here.
All right. So my point is either this thing is safe or it's not safe. It can't just be unsafe in one state. Everything can't just be unsafe in one state and fine in every other state.
I never even asked you, what's the reason that it's illegal in California?
Illegal in California can mean a lot of different things. Like I said, you order stuff, especially if you do building, they'll say ships anywhere in the United States, and then they'll go, except California. Why? Because we have a bunch of coastal commission bitches who sit around and just fucking make rules. That's all they do. It's all they know how to do. And we're going to have to undo it. This Some are more specific. They have to do with like the environment. A lot of to do with the environment. Lots of cancer causing benzene, whatever. Every single gas pump in California has a sticker that says if you're pregnant. Nobody pays any attention to it. They still pump their own gas. But this is all we do is put warning labels on everything and or say you can't ship here. So it's pathetic, but these are the times we're living in. So they're going to have to roll some of that shit back and get it under control in order to expedite this. Otherwise, they are going to have a mass exodus of their constituency. These are their donors. Like, okay, I'll put it to you this way. When Democratic presidential hopeful du jour rolls into town and they have their big star-studded fundraising party, it is often in Malibu. It is often in Santa Monica. It is often in the Palisades. Like, this is their constituency, and their constituency is going to move to Nashville, and they're never coming back if you fuck with them. So be prepared.
No, but I figure right now, like, we made the Taliban. Like, it's going to be a bunch of people who are well off and have influence moving back, trying to figure out how to do the regulation. You're going to have the Hamill effect where they're too angry. It's maybe things will change now because enough people with influence will be angry.
It'd be nice. And let's not forget that the Japanese tried this on us during World War II.
Oh, to start fires with the balloons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sent. This is 1940s technology.
Yeah, they just sent up balloons with fire inside them, right?
1940s technology. Japanese sent up balloons to go into the airstream, the Gulf Stream or whatever, fly over the Pacific Northwest, have the balloons come down with incendiary bombs and fire and timers, altitude timers, land and start a forest fire, and we would be busy putting the forest fire out instead of fighting the Japanese.
Little did they know they just needed a couple meth heads.
Yeah. All right, Alan Hamill, the great Alan Hamill, is going to join us via Zoom. We'll take a quick break. Come back with Alan right after this. Dan Summers, Alan Hamill has joined us from, I'm guessing, Palm Springs area, right, Alan?
Right, Palm Springs it is. It's really weird because I'm looking at the TV and watching all the terrible things that are happening to our beautiful states. And then I turn my head to the right and the sky is blue and the sun is shining and there's no wind. And then I go back to the craziness and it's like, that's what it is. It's craziness.
I agree.
But bless. It's just all crazy.
Well, they say, I was thinking about this the other day, may you live in interesting times. And that's not fallen short for me. I realize these are interesting times, and you can call them tragic. You can call them anything you want, but they're interesting, man. There's a lot going on all at once. But the story, okay, let me just encapsulate me. I've been railing against this stuff ever since they put a microphone in front of me because of my former profession, because I was a builder and I had to deal with this all the time in LA, in California. And I would scream at everyone all the time, you're living in your rent control apartment in Santa Monica. You are doing nothing. You like this. You want more of this. Go out into the world, buy some land, try to develop it, hang your own shingle, and then tell me how much you like this, because I don't think you're going to like it. Bill Maher, as I've said many times, tried to do solar about 3 or 4 years ago at his pad, and now he's been turned out because he realizes what the government is doing and how they're way over their skis. So when Alan and Suzanne at the time started speaking to me about trying to rebuild in their beloved Malibu, I, of course, was all ears because this is something I'd been thinking about and talking about for many years. But walk us through it. First off, your old home was where exactly, and what year was your fire?
I'm not good at dates, But it feels like our fire was probably 12 to 15 years ago. And we had been living in Malibu, I think, well over 20 years. And we were living in a little beach shack, literally. It was a shack. However, it was our favorite home of all the homes we've built and renovated and lived in, all those grand estates. This little shack was our favorite place. It was only 1,900 square feet, and I was permitted to build an additional 10% with no problems at all. That's the law. And I started with the Coastal Commission, and then I stopped going to those meetings, and I just had my architect go, and they just don't want you to do anything.
That was 2007, I'm being told the fire was from. Yeah.
Okay. So how many years ago was that?
Wow, it's 18 years now, but 17 and change probably. Well, time flies when you're arguing with the Coastal Commission.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have little rules like you can add 10%, but you have to have a covered parking or something. They tack everything on.
Okay, parking, okay? So I'm sitting with the architect, who was a fancy architect from Montecito, and he had built 2 houses for us in the past. And we're talking to I guess it was planning, I don't know what the title of the department was at Malibu City Hall. But we're talking to this woman who probably was in her 20s, but she looked like she was maybe 13 or 14 years old. And she didn't like us. The chemistry was awful. I mean, I went in there and shook hands and smiled and how are you and blah, blah, blah. I got nothing from her.
Right.
And the kind of date you want to take home early. And so she started talking about how many cars we would need indoor parking for. And the architect said, so you're going to eat up at least half the house parking cars. And he said, is there an appeal process? And she said, yes, there is. She said, I can tell you how to appeal this. And then this is the evil that came out of her mouth. She said, I'm entitled to respond to whatever you're complaining about relative to the appeal process, but I'm very busy, so it's going to take me 1 year to respond. In other words, nothing's going to happen with your permit for at least another year. And that's when we thought, you know what? Let's just get out of here. This is irritating. We have a beautiful family. We're happy. We have great things that we do for a living. And I don't want to have to deal with this person anymore. And that was it. We decided, okay, we're going to sell the land, which we did. And instead, we built our dream home in Palm Springs. Not that we didn't have one before, but this was the dream home.
Yeah. So, you have a 27-year-old chick with a 4-year degree who's making $37,000 a year, chasing off high income, high tax paying. And also, having Suzanne Summers and Alan Hamill in your neighborhood is a good thing. It's a selling point for others who are, it's a general good, lots of money, and also the revenue. The revenue of paying all the tradespeople that have to come in and do all the work. And the thing that's always funny with the city is, what I want to scream is, I'm not asking you to build me a beach house. I'm asking you to let me pay for my own house on my own property. I had the same thing. And what happens is the relationship can become adversarial, which is a weird thing. And you go in there and you find yourself like putting on a bow tie and fixing your hair and going, hi, nice to see you. My name is Alan Hamill. Perhaps you've seen my Alpha Beta commercials from the 70s. Hey, somebody's lost weight, because even though she has all the power over you, she's like that kid.
Right.
She's like the kid from the Twilight Zone commercial Twilight Zone show who could wish you out into the cornfield. I remember I had to pull a permit in Glendale several years ago for a warehouse that I bought to build a mezzanine area on it. And there was like a 23-year-old woman behind the counter at Plan Check. And I said, well, I bought this warehouse and I want to build this mezzanine. And she said, what are you planning on doing with the warehouse? And I said, well, I think I'm going to store some cars in there. And she said, they might let you do that. And I thought, they might let me do what I want to do on the property that I purchased and I'm paying insane taxes on. That's what it's gotten down to. Some sort of weird adversarial. You know the feeling. You walk in and you feel like you're walking into court and you're being accused of murder. And you're like, okay, I'm going to keep the judge happy. I'll make the bailiff happy. I don't want to piss off the attorneys. Like you walk in, you put your hat in your hand and you go, oh, hi. If it's not too much trouble, could I give you a whole bunch of money and then you could let me do stuff on my own property? Which is what it turns into, which is weird, right?
I know. You know where I had no problem at all? We bought a bunch of land. We lived or we worked in Vegas for 10 years from 1980 to 1990. And we didn't want to live in Vegas. We didn't want to live in a hotel. So we bought a bunch of land 25 miles northwest of town in the middle of nowhere. We were the only property out there. And I hired a contractor. And he said, okay, when do you want to be in? I said, Christmas. He said, Christmas? He said, that's 3.5 months from now. I said, right. He said, this is a 6,000 square foot authentic adobe. He said, we have to order the Vigas and Latias, from New Mexico. And we have to find someone who understands adobe plaster to bring them in with the trade. And I said, yeah, okay. He said, you'll never finish by Christmas. I said, okay. Tell every trade that I will be on site every day at 3:00 and I'll pay them in cash. We were in there by Christmas time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they were coming out on weekends with their wives and their kids, and the kids were running crazy in the desert. The wives sat around, smoking and drinking coffee, and the plumbers plumbed and the electricians did the electricity, and we got the place built whammo, and that was it.
It is.
And no problem with permits or anything else. It was beautiful.
So how long was your odyssey with the Coastal Commission and the permitting process?
Years. Yeah. I stopped going. It was years. It was just these people who have this power over you. And, I only wish that they would hire people in the planning department in Malibu who lived in Malibu. Because these people don't live in Malibu, and I think they were pissed off that they couldn't live in Malibu. I don't know what their problem was. They were just these angry young people. And I'm not used to being around angry young people. And it was just this terrible mood. As soon as we walked into the crummy little office with stuff all over the place, totally disorganized, and we made eye contact, I thought, oh, this is not going to be good. And it wasn't. It wasn't. She doesn't give a shit.
Well,
really,
it is. There is an issue which is sort of global, which I've definitely experienced going through security at LAX, which is, here comes Rich Whitey. Well, now it's payback time. And it's like, I'm just trying to get to Denver to do a show. That's all. I'm sorry for what happened. I'm sorry for the past. I didn't abandon your family when you were 9. This has nothing to do with me, but I do happen to be 6'2" and heterosexual and white, and I do have money, but you shouldn't take it out on me. And I think there's a lot of that. I think we're taking a lot of women who have a lot of issues with their dads, and we're putting them as gatekeepers in all these positions. And now it's payback time, except for we don't have a history. I just want to rebuild my house or get to Denver to do a show. It's a sociological dynamic which is going on as we speak, and no one wants to say anything about it because it always comes across as racist or sexist or
I got
xenophobic
jumped for being a white boy in the hood. Like,
so you
I can
understand.
identify.
So Alan, couple questions. Do you know what became of the house that was built on your property in this newest fire?
The answer is I don't know for sure. I heard that it had burned down. They built we had almost 200 feet of ocean front. And as you know, most beach houses in Malibu have, between 35 and maybe 65 feet of ocean front. And we wanted to build this little shack on this huge piece of property we owned. And, it just wasn't going to happen. I've run into this, it seems to be people who put on uniforms, okay?
Yes.
Now, I'm getting away from the building thing, but like the TSA, we're going through TSA in Toronto, and the guy who's sitting there looking at the screen, looking at the bags going through the X-ray machine, and he gets someone else to sit in the chair, and he comes over to me, and he said, would you mind if I, and then he puts Suzanne's back to go through the machine. Oh, we saw something. We have to look at it again, which was BS. And he said, would you mind would you take a picture of Miss Summers and myself? And I said, sure, happy to do that. And I was so angry with this guy because we're running close to missing the flight. Mm-hmm. And he purposely put her bag through so that he could come out and say, can I take the picture? So I said, sure, we can do that. So he gave me his camera. I took the picture, and then I turned off the camera, and I grabbed Suzanne's bag, and off we went. And when he looked at the picture, it had no heads. that was retributive justice. And the other thing was in Germany. We're going through TSA in Frankfurt, and the guy goes through my bag, and he pulls out a bottle of wine called the President's Wine, which we got from Prime Minister Netanyahu on our visit in Israel. And he said, you can't take this wine. He said, only, you know the rules? I said, yeah, I do. So I said, hand me the bottle. So he hands me the bottle. I take my finger, I push the cork down into the bottle, and I start chug-a-lugging the wine.
I love it.
Okay. Now, Suzanne is standing next to me, giving me the, I can't believe, why do you always do that? I can't.
There's all
That's right. So I chug-a-lugged half the wine, and I handed it back to the guy, and he starts screaming at some other guy, and the people who were waiting in line applauded me. Okay. I wish we had some video from that. It was wonderful. And, because I knew they were going to drink my wine for dinner. I just knew it.
Yeah.
They're taking my wine away. You're going to, this stupid American has, brought us a wonderful bottle of wine.
Do you suspect they're going to fast track and streamline these rebuilds? Because, if it's one person or a couple of people, they can kind of deal with it. But once they get Fran Drescher pissed off and she starts screaming into a microphone, and there's a chorus of celebrities and high rollers that are attacking the mayor and the city council and the governor, they'll crack instantaneously because they'll do whatever's politically expedient. So I'm assuming they're going to crack and they're going to expedite this stuff, right?
They have to.
I'm covering on the news. I'm covering on the news today that Gavin Newsom issued an executive order to streamline the rebuilding after the fires.
Was your home right around the colonies?
No, it was about half a mile further into Malibu Road. It was about halfway through Malibu Road.
So closer to the pier or further out?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't close to the pier at all.
It was further out. It was more towards Zuma.
Yeah.
But
it was right. Like in very close to central Malibu.
And so, last couple questions, Alan. How's your dock? I know Suzanne Summers is getting a dock, as she should have 10 docks. How's that process going for you?
Well, right now, you mean our documentary?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're in the middle of it right now. I have been memorializing every moment of our family since the '60s, when I was, shooting little 3-minute pieces of film, and then I went to video as soon as that was made available. So I have hundreds and hundreds of hours totally dedicated to the family. From the time the kids were like 5, 6, 7. I mean, the kids now are in their late 50s and early 60s, which is pretty weird having kids in their 60s.
Yeah.
And so I'm in charge of screening, because I didn't want anything that was a little too personal to be available, for the documentary. But the nuggets I'm finding are wonderful. And I sit there for hours, not every day, but most days, looking at all of this. And I get very emotional with some of it. But it's wonderful. And what I'm going to do, we're digitizing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put it into some kind of digital box when it's all done. And only the immediate family will have access to it. And it's going to be available for generations of Hamels and Summers down the road. And one of the reasons I started this was because I never met my grandparents. They were killed by Hitler. And I thought I would have loved to have heard them talk or laugh or watch them eat. I've got those post pictures that people used to take in the early 1900s, and that's all I have. So I thought, I'm going to make sure that this family is memorialized going forward. And so that's basically what I'm doing. And it's a pleasurable task, and it's exhausting. When I finish at the end of the day and I lay down to have a little rest, well, it happened. I was supposed to go out for New Year's Eve, and I ate dinner at home at 5 o'clock, and it was too early to go out. I was going to go to Stone Eagle, and it was too early to take off for New Year's Eve. So I started watching the movie, and next thing I knew, I was awakened by what sounded like a war zone, guys yelling and bullhorns and sirens screaming and bells going off and explosions, etc. And I thought, my God, what's going on? And it turned out that I had slept through New Year's, and it was my neighbors setting off their fireworks. That was the war zone.
Last question, Alan. You're quite a ladies' man, a man of passion. And I know Suzanne said, don't mope when I'm gone. I'd like you to get out there, have fun, date, be with somebody. Are you dating right now?
Kind of. She said to me, I don't want you to mope around. I want you to live your life. And so I only moped around for a year. And then I thought, okay, Suzanne would approve of this. Actually, Suzanne would have approved it, no moping around at all. And so I didn't want to I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to go out in public with one woman. I didn't want to be. Alan's found a new woman in his life, so instead I invited 2. And I've had several dates with 2 women, and you know what? I really like it. There's something about having 2 women laugh at my stupid jokes, and so I've kind of done that, and I'm going to segue into singles. And there are several women I've known for many, many years. Many years. I mean, like 30, 40 years. And who are really good women. I really like them a lot. They lead purposeful lives, and so I am going to start dating. But there's no marriage in my future at all, and it's just going to be we're removing the guardrails, the cultural guardrails, the way you're supposed to behave, and I'm going to free myself and just have fun for the cocktail hour of my life, however long that is. Yeah. So the answer is the answer is yes. I crave companionship. I only live alone in my entire life for 2 weeks. Hated it. I was bored myself. And so I really like companionship a lot. Will I ever live with somebody? Probably not. But I am going to spend a lot of time with other people, not just women, probably mostly women. I love women. I get along better with women than I do with men. I've only had one night out with the boys. I hated it. You know, when I talk to some of my buddies and they say, "Hey, how about them Niners?" And I go, "What? What Niners?"
Right.
Niners. Yeah. So I can talk to women about their health, about bioidentical hormones and DHEA and pregnenolone and progesterone. And
Well,
so
listen,
it's great.
Last time I saw Alan, we did go out alone, and we did have a couple martinis and a steak, and I hope we can recreate that real soon.
Okay, me too.
Maybe we'll come out to you in Palm Springs, or when
That'd be great.
Malibu's extinguished, and come out to us. But I hope to see you very soon, my friend.
Yeah, always great talking with you, and even better seeing you. So let's do that rather than just talking about it. I'll take charge.
Take charge. Get it on the calendar. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Great,
okay.
Alan Hamill.
Cool.
Thank you
Cool,
so much,
man.
my friend.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So
bless, sir.
Try to rebuild. Couldn't take it anymore. Couldn't take especially the attitude. That's the part that you don't realize. You come in there, and it's sort of like, here's what it would feel like. It would feel like if somebody stole your cow. You bought a cow, you took care of a cow, and then they stole it, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody said to you, you've got to go in there, bring your checkbook, and convince them to give you your cow back. And you went, well, it is my cow, and they stole my cow. And you went, okay. The person went, look, drop the attitude, because if you go in with that attitude, you're never getting your cow back. Bring your checkbook and go be nice, and maybe they'll let you have your cow back.
What's the solution here? Because all I hear
The
is
solution is a huge fire or a huge war.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that then course correct things.
It's exactly what happened. Yeah.
All right. We need to take a quick break. We'll do the news right after that. Weird, unquilted, single ply bullshit toilet paper they have.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you pull into a hotel or something and it's bad times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saving some money. Squeezing money with a single ply that you have to like roll over your hand 6 times.
Should we say this? You shouldn't be able to sell toilet paper if I can take like a 20-watt bulb and put it behind it and it shines right through it without slowing it down at all.
We're counting lumens now.
We're lumens, candle power.
Yeah, exactly.
Lumens and candle power. Like some of the stuff you hold up, you could literally read through it. No problem in dim lighting. So you shouldn't be able to shine light through it.
You're saying more regulations here in California.
More regulations just when it has to do with toilet paper. All right.
Here's some news. Before the break, you said that it's going to take a fire in order to roll back some of these regulations.
Or a war.
Yeah. Well, Gavin Newsom issues executive order to streamline rebuilding after fires. It suspends regulations under the California Environmental Quality Act to allow people
thought
to
about
rebuild.
this. Has anyone thought about this? We're going to need tons of tradesmen.
Yeah. That's
Tons of
interesting.
drywallers, tons of framers, foundation guys.
Rebar, welders. This it's
Yeah.
well, because I think people are going to build concrete structures now.
Yeah. So when you build with steel, you bolt it together and you weld it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we need tons of trades guys. Where are those guys going to live?
Right.
Like, where are they living? We don't have enough housing for us now. Then you have all these people that are out of a house, and now you are going to need an army of tradespeople. Like, they're going to need barracks or something for these people because, now it's like, hey, a good drywall guy? Yeah, but he's booked up, for a few months. You won't be able to get him until March or so, whatever it is. Imagine that times 20,000 structures.
This is going to be Winnebagos all down PCH.
Yes. I mean, we're going to need tons of trades guys and where they're coming from, Mexico mainly, but where are they working? Oh my God, we're going to need so many Mexicans.
Yeah, there's only so many Motel 6s.
So the thing is the people here who do masonry are 100% Hispanic, 100%. All the stucco guys, all the concrete guys, the forming guys, the finishing guys, all of these guys, it's all Hispanic, 100%. So we're going to need like a stucco army coming in across the border, and we're going to have to figure something out.
Give them H-1B visas. There you go.
Yeah, like we do with the guys who come in seasonally and pick, avocados or whatever it is. Like they're going to have to come in, and there's going to be an army of these stucco
That's
guys.
an interesting twist on the new administration because they're going to have to accept, we do need some immigrants.
And there is no drones or mechanized stucco. It's like mix it up, spread it out.
It's in
army
the early
guys,
stages, but they have the 3D printed, but it's kind of
the 3D printing is interesting because I've looked into it a little, and with the 3D printing is sort of actually I don't know why, but I was thinking about this the other day. But when I took ceramics, we had this big thing that looked like a big handled orange juice maker, industrial size, where you put the hair and you pull the, big, and it was called the extruder. And the extruder, you put a lump of clay in it, and you pull the thing down, and a snake of clay would come out, and then you'd make a coil pot out of it. That's what the 3D stuff does. It goes along and makes an inner and an outer out of like lightweight cement, concrete. Cement is concrete. Concrete is cement with aggregate in it, with rocks in it, you know. But it'd do like an inner and an outer, and it would just keep going on top, like toothpaste on top of toothpaste. It's going, just building up. The inner part would be hollow. It would stop where like windows were going and stuff, or they would form it out where windows were going, then it would go above and so on and so forth. But it's fast, but those also, everything is kind of radius with those things. They don't do sharp 90-degree angles. They just keep going in a circle and a semicircle and sort of serpentine. So it's kind of, everything's got like a soft edge to it, which is cool and modern, but it's not also how
not everyone
wants that. So there's going to be so much. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Chinese word for crisis and opportunity is the same.
Oh. Yeah. We're also going to need to like bust open some cement factories and stuff. Like we're going to need materials, like tons.
It's going to be like a countrywide effort to rebuild Malibu, Palisades, and wherever else goes.
Mm-hmm. I should slide back into the trades.
Maybe starting. Yeah, the Newsom also extended a 2024 tax return filing deadline until October by people for people impacted by the fires. Yeah. Also, up there in this kind of news, LA millionaires shell out $2,000 an hour for private firefighters as the overwhelmed city abandons neighborhoods to the flames.
Yeah. Listen, we got LAPD, and then there's private security. Like, I don't know. The cops are there. The cops are there to keep the citizens safe. But if you're a high net worth individual and you don't feel that safe, then you pay somebody to make you feel safe. I don't know if the city's doing their job or not, but that's what you want. And I feel the same way about this kind of stuff. Like, why not?
Yeah, this is just capitalism.
Plus, the city is piss poor doing stuff, whether it's you not getting your Rolex stolen out front of a restaurant or your house not burned down. I think we've figured out that they do a pretty shitty job at their job, so you're going to have to farm out others to do it. Well, I don't know. What's the difference between this and private school? Half these people, 85% of these people's kids go to a private school because the LA Unified School District sucks.
Well, I think the backlash is coming from the people. See, what's happening here, it seems like igniting sort of a class warfare, and everyone views themselves as fighting against the government by saying, oh, you're getting special treatment because you can afford to do what the government can't. And that's
I know people do that all the time. They go, why should you get whatever, fill in the blank? When you have money, you have a safer life.
Yeah.
You drive a newer car. Yeah. The newer car is safer than the older car. You live in a safer neighborhood. You don't have to park on the street and up the street where you could get rolled or jumped and tickets and everything. Yes, you eat healthier, cleaner food, so on and so forth. Yes, the list goes on and on and on. That's how it works. Yeah, and that's how it's always worked. So fuck off. If you don't like the way it works, then you got to figure out a way to make more money because the city's not going to close that gap.
Well, what I think is happening is a lot of people, because there's a lot of backlash where a millionaire real estate investor, Keith Wasserman, had a call for someone to connect him with private firefighters, I believe on X. He went and asked for a private firefighter, and everyone really piled on him. And I think what's happening is there's a big divide between rich and poor now, and a lot of people are pretty angry that their dreams haven't come true.
You know what's weird? As a former poor person, who grew up around poor people, we didn't have a lot of ire or thoughts about rich people. I assumed rich people worked harder, were smarter, more educated, and took care of business better than the Carollas did, and that's why they were rich. I don't think this ever comes from actual poor people. I think this is rich, whitey. This is basically the bitch who was complaining about my cars. This is not who you think it is. They go, there's a lot of poor people who don't have, and it's like, yeah, but they're not saying anything. Poor people sort of go to work. They don't really know about all this shit. I mean, all the poor people I've ever employed or worked with or been on a job site with, they didn't talk about this. They just fucking worked. And they would talk about stuff like what they were going to do this weekend.
It's internet class people who have enough money to have a nice high speed internet connection. It's
a little Karen. It's a little also higher bracket stuff. Like during COVID, all the people that were screaming at each other were all these sort of higher end people. The lower end people went to their fucking job at Chipotle and just worked at Trader Joe's, Alpha Beta. I don't know if it's still there. I hope it's gone.
I've never even seen one of those.
Oh, so depressing. The poor people I know always just got up and went to work. They didn't sit around and argue on the internet. I don't think these aren't poor people complaining. These are slightly less rich people complaining. About rich people.
Yeah, maybe you're right about that. Could be. So Rick Caruso, former water commissioner, the outspoken critic of the fire response, took similar heat online after New York Times revealed that he had hired private muscle to protect his home with the flames. From the flames.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Well, look, you want your home protected. The LA Fire Department's not cutting it, and you have a lot of money, but you don't have a lot of time. So what the fuck are you going to do? Yeah. I mean, that's the way people work. That's also, by the way, that's why part of the reason why people want money is for these reasons.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like saying, oh, you got your TSA pre-check thing, and now you got clear, and you get to go to the front of the line. Yeah. I signed up for it, and I paid for it.
Yeah. That's an option.
What do you get to? Why you get to go in the first class lounge? Because I got a ticket that's $3,600, and then I paid this much for this credit card, and now I get to go sit here. You don't get it? That's how it works. Yeah. Way of the world. That's how it's always worked.
Well, on the other end of this, the other direction, an alleged looter dressed as a fireman was detained in the Pacific Palisades. There's two looters who one of them was dressed like a firefighter with the boots and everything, was detained by Los Angeles County Sheriff Deputy Pacific Coast Highway. It's unclear what time the suspects were stopped, but a local photographer here, you can see, spotted the pair on a scooter and a moped. Yeah, fire boots he was wearing. They're writing up PCH apparently, and two crime prevention unit deputies from LA Sheriff Department Santa Clarita Station detained them.
Yeah, white guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
I mean, he doesn't really. He looks like he's cosplaying as a firefighter. Doesn't look legitimate.
There is a weird thing. It's sort of like when the prostitute dresses up like a nurse.
Yeah.
You know that's not something she wears. You know what I mean? There's a for me, you know, when I see it, you see it if you have any kind of expertise. So when you see a movie and the guy plays an MMA guy and it just looks wrong.
So
it's weird. It looks wrong, you know. For me, guys who are supposed to be on a construction site in sitcoms and stuff and movies and stuff, they're always wearing brand new boots and brand new bags. Like their leather bags are stiff and shiny and never been worn before, and there's nothing in them. And I'm like, he's holding the wrong hammer for framing. He's got a little finish hammer with a smooth head on it. He's supposed to be framing, you know. And I'm like, it looks wrong. Yeah, it looks off. And these guys, cops and firemen, when they see the skinny dude coming in with the yellow jacket on, they probably go, that guy doesn't.
You know, at first glance. Yeah, exactly.
He's not wearing it right.
Oh, yeah, this firefighter's riding a bird scooter.
Right.
That's probably not a real firefighter.
Right. He's riding a wheelie on a bird.
But this is maybe a nothing burger.
And he's wearing Skechers.
They thought these guys might be looting, but they handcuffed them, and someone said that later they let them go. So, no charges. Yeah.
I get looting. Okay, so here's the thing about looting. Walking out with a TV is kind of not going to work, right? Because it's like TVs. My TV was a 13-inch black and white Zenith. You could walk out with it. Walking out with anything under 85 inches, there's no street value.
You're not going to believe I had that same TV. I didn't realize once you said 13-inch black and white, we had that.
You had that? You had my mom's TV?
Yeah.
So, I mean, now you're walking out with a giant TV set, very bustable. It's got to all be jewelry, right?
Right. That's the only thing I can imagine that these guys might have been after, or anybody in that general business, if you want to call it that, is you go through and sift through to see whatever is, not molten.
Can I tell you, while some people were paying initially for their own private firefighters, now the next check has to be paying Koreans to get on the roof with a 30-06 because nobody deals with looters like Koreans. I would just, if I was Rick Caruso, I'd just go down to Koreatown and I'd go into every liquor store and go, you got a 19-year-old son? Yeah, I do. Where is he? Bring him over. I'll give him $80 an hour. Come here. Bring your 30-06. You put the Korean on the roof. By the way, one Korean on one residential roof.
Bird's nest,
Bird's nest. Good for 14 houses.
270.
It's not just your house.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
Everybody can pass the hat. The Koreans will handle the house he's on, 4 houses to the right, 4 houses to the left, and 9 houses in front.
You need 6 Koreans per acre, I think.
6 per acre. No, actually, you only need 1.3 Koreans per acre.
My mistake. My math was
off.
off.
Because an acre is really just kind of a big double lot, or half acres kind of a double lot. Yeah. I've had a house on an acre of land. I had a house on a half acre of land. I only needed 1.3 Koreans per acre. So some of these houses have acreage. So you need 1.3 Koreans per acre. And what I'm talking about is about right. It's about 4 houses. The Korean sits on the roof of the middle house. 4 houses to the right.
I'm thinking that squat that they do, like all butt to heels.
Prone.
Oh,
position.
Prone position. Okay.
4 to the left, and then the 9 in front is good enough.
Can my Korean be a Taekwondo expert?
He can have some skills, but he's not going to need to use them because he's up there at the 30-06.
I just want him, if he's overrun by a zombie horde of looters, I want him to be able to handle himself.
That's the whole point. They're never, it's the one shot, first off, they hear the bolt action. They hear that.
Oh, yes.
They hear there's the one shot
Yeah.
overhead, then the bolt action,
I get it. Yeah.
and then everyone scatters. That's it. Because during the riots in L.A., that whole Rodney King thing and the whole 1991 or whenever it was.
April 24, 1992.
Oh, really? 92. They went up, those Koreans who own those liquor stores are like, hey, Schwartz's, you ain't burning our place down. We got the fucking roof. Those roofs have something called a parapet. It's from medieval times,
Yes.
but they still have parapets.
Yes.
And they're 3 foot of block, and they get right behind those parapets.
And they chalk up.
And they
Chalk
start
that
shooting.
rifle
They
up, I
start
get it.
shooting. And guess what? Lo and behold, magically, their liquor store doesn't burn down. So Rick Caruso, pay the firemen. Now we got to pay the Koreans. You got a Korean on your roof. Nobody gets near your fucking house. There's no looting. There's no nothing. And again, it's only like 3 Koreans per block. Really, it's not even that.
Look, I got a bunch of family that is hankering for this job right now. If they could get a H-1B visa from North Carolina.
North Korean, I'm looking for, not
Okay,
North Carolina.
Oh, my, okay.
I mean, listen, no offense. I'm sure you guys are fine
They're
up
crack
there.
shots, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but the Millers up there, they get bored.
You're
and,
right.
and next thing you know, the guy reaches for the cooler. It's like, I'll just take one White Claw. It's starting to get cold. Starts drinking a little bit. Next thing you know, puts the gun down next to him on the chimney. The thing falls over because his phone rings. He reaches for the phone. It knocks the gun over. It slides down the roof. You start drinking harder. Next thing you know, you get shit-faced up there.
They just start shooting willy-nilly.
I need you on what's called the ridge rafter.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
There's a ridge rafter.
Yeah.
It's the one that runs along the ridge. The rafters go up. They tie into the ridge rafter. You sit on that ridge rafter. You got one leg on one side. You got the other leg on the other side. That ridge rafter goes right across your taint. You hear me?
Yep.
And you just sit there at that 30-06.
Face blacked out, of course.
Not staring at YouTube, not
No.
drinking White Claw, just sitting there. And no, your face isn't. No.
Oh, you want them to see.
I want you to be very visible.
Oh, well, then you're going back to the Millers. We have a loud voice. We can be very visible. I will shoot you if you enter that house.
All right, I'll consider anybody, but I'm starting with the Koreans and the guys that have good liquor store roof parapet shooting experience.
All right, well,
That'll work.
look, you might want to chip in on this fund. David Spade offers $5,000 reward to catch L.A. arsonist amid deadly fires. Keep your eyes peeled, he says.
There's guys lighting fires out there, make this shit worse. They just caught somebody, we're pretty sure was lighting fires, walking on with a blowtorch, they let him go. So if you can find someone lighting a fire and you catch somebody and you can get the cops to bust him and throw him in jail, I'll give you $5,000. So keep your eyes peeled and do what you can out there. Don't fake it though. No staging. Let me know.
I like how he figured that out at the end of his Instagram video.
Yeah.
He went, oh, wait a minute, don't fake it. You know, in my neighborhood, there's a guy, the pictures of him with a fire starting device, then said the arsonist is back. And it was a printout to our whole building. Be on the lookout for this guy, bald head, white beard, ready to set something on fire. Serious out
You want
there.
to borrow one of my Koreans?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that put an end to the arson guy. Lickety fucking split.
Absolutely.
One shot into the dirt next to his foot, and then they go on, get, but done it with a Korean accent.
Go on, get.
My Korean not only takes care of looters, but takes care of arsonists as well.
This guy is multifaceted. Mm-hmm. It's a nice, sharp guy. And if he's a Taekwondo expert on top, I think that there's some
I know
places
you're
where-
a hand-to-hand guy, but he's up on that roof.
Oh, this guy is, he's smoking hella cigarettes, I believe it. Yeah.
He smokes.
He smokes, obviously.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't have any problem with that. The house survived the fire. It'll survive a Korean smoking. But yeah, that'll get rid of the arsonist as well.
Yeah. David Spade's going to kick 5,000. Recently, a homeless man was tackled and zip-tied by onlookers. Who he was suspected of trying to start fires with a blowtorch. In Woodland
I saw
Hills.
that.
Yeah, I saw it too. It was wild that the whole community tackled this guy and zip-tied him. Who had zip ties? Who's ready for this?
That's a good point. probably an electrician or a guy who does home theater. The number one user of zip ties are home theater guys.
You're
They
right.
bundle all those cords together.
Stop. Yeah.
Yeah, zip ties, if you're doing home theater work, you got to have zip ties.
Little zip ties and clip it off so that it looks real sleek.
Never pick up the clipped part.
No.
Never
did.
Never pick up the clipped part. They never do.
Yeah, they leave it back
They
there.
just clip
behind
them
your
and they walk
entertainment
away.
center.
Yeah, the electricians are with zip tie clipping what a lot of smokers are with butts. Like they just launch them and they're like, all right, but that is going to land on the ground and then somebody's got to clean it up at some point. All electricians, every sub I've ever worked with, they pull the wire out, they clip it, they strip it. They do clip, they strip it, they put the plug in, put it in the wall, and then when you show up, you'll see the two little stripped pieces of wire and the two clips. They will never. And any zip tie. There's some weird thing, because it's kind of weird, like in life. You know what I mean? Like if you, let's put it to you this way. If you're having a drink, a beverage, like a soda, and you get a straw. I'm looking at you, Joe. I don't know why. So you get the straw, and the straw's got the little paper sack on the other side of it, and you're just kind of walking down the street, and you tear the thing open, you pull it off, and you're putting in your drink. If the little paper sack thing fell onto the ground, you would stop and you would pick it up because you go, oh, I don't want to litter. I dropped this thing on the street. But cigarette butts and clippings and zip ties don't fall under that heading, which is weird because the clip on the zip is 7 inches of plastic that will survive the Holocaust. Like it's never going to break down. It's not going to rain. At least the paper, the next time it rains, is just going to decompose and wash away. No, and cigarette butt's not going anywhere either. But for some reason, certain stuff counts as litter and certain stuff doesn't count as litter on every job site. You know what you get? The job can be done. The last guys that come in are the electricians that are putting the plugs in, and they're clipping the wires and they're stripping the wires, and then they got the little cellophane where the plate goes over it, the plug. You will find by every single one, you'll find that little box, cardboard with cellophane in it. That's where the receptacle came in, and then the clipped wires and everything. They just leave it there. And there's something weird because all the other trades, like if you're the carpenter guy and you get your router out, you're mortising the hinges or whatever, then when you're done, you sweep it up, especially if it's finished. It's like an almost done job, you're doing finish work. Something about those guys.
I've done a little bit of construction work, and I feel like when you're doing construction, everybody's on a team except the electrician and the plumber. They come in, they're separate
Lone
from you.
Wolf McQuaid.
Yeah,
They come in, they're
right.
like, some asshole that's not me is going to clean this up. Some guy in this crew will sweep this up.
That's right. Yeah.
They're the smokers of construction guys.
They are the smokers of the construction guys, which is they're not part of the crew. They're subs. They come in, they charge a lot, they work one day, and they go, that Mexican guy at the broom, he can handle what I'm laying down. And they never do.
Makes sense to me. Because
That's right.
you kind of look at yourself as I read the electrician book. It's a big, thick book. So I feel like they're feel like eggheads on the construction
You know
site.
what kind of world I want to live in? Electrician pulls the receptacle out of the box, throws the box on the ground, takes the clippers, strips the wire, wires it up, starts to walk away. Here's the bolt action of the 30-06 from the Korean. Dawson's walking down the sidewalk, throws the butt. Here's the bolt action, stops. Looks around quietly, picks the butt back up, puts his hand up gingerly, and just keeps walking. That's the world I want to live in. I may keep my Korean full time.
Rooftop Korean everywhere. Overbounding a watch. Just Overwatch.
I had
Anywhere you go.
I had a pool guy who would skim the pool, and then when he was done skimming all the leaves out of the pool, instead of throwing the leaves into the green barrel, he'd dump them into the flower bed. I fired him because eventually he wouldn't stop. I'd find big wet piles of leaves in the flower. He'd skim them all of the pool, and then instead of walking 20 feet to the trash can, he'd just dump them in the flower bed. When he hears that bolt action, it's like he starts to dump it in, hears the bolt action, and slowly starts to move toward the trash can, puts the hand up, hand goes up, starts walking toward the trash can.
And this Korean never talks. He's just looking over top.
Gardner comes in there. He's cleaning up the dog shit. Instead of throwing it in the receptacle, you see him just sort of throw it in the ivy. He hears the bolt action.
Goes back.
Everyone just puts their head down real slow, puts the hand up, starts walking into the ivy to get the fucking shit out of the ivy. And that's eventually they all get coached up. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I go out of town. I'm doing shows in Utah. Then I'm off to Atlantic City. My girlfriend comes walking up with her new boyfriend, you know what I mean? Looking around. Adam's not around. Tell Sonny, here's the bolt. Guy just puts a hand up, just starts walking back to the car. You know what I mean? Well, she puts the hand up, slowly walks into the house.
And you only need to employ him for a certain amount of time. Once people know, then you could just have a bolt action sound.
Oh, that's right. That's
like
right.
Pavlov's dog.
Right. Yeah. Or there's the porch pirate who wants to grab what's on the porch. He hears the bolt action. Jehovah's Witness turns his bicycle up, turns that bike, and it's all hand is going to go up, head goes down, and they start leaving the property. That's all.
I feel like
just hook it up to the Ring camera. Motion detected bolt action
bolt
sound.
action sound. Fucking everyone stops what they're doing. Hand goes up. And they just start walking back to the street. All right. I don't think we're going to do any better than that. Solana Beach, belly up. Doing a couple of shows this Sunday. Jay Moore's going to be with me. 6:30 show, 9 p.m. show as well. Covina Laugh Factory with Paul Rodriguez, everybody. That is coming up January 22nd in Boca Raton, Florida, at the Black Box Theater, Jan 30th. Then the 31st, Naples, and 32nd, Naples, or 1st, Naples, I'm going to go with. Yeah, I was on a roll, man. You got to have Carolla.com. As a bartender, you got to like your booze. You got to like your customers. You got to like your customers like the booze. I'd always just be heavy hand because I'd be like, I'm not fucking paying for these bottles. And the one bottle of gin and the one bottle of vodka, I can get 22 martinis out of this. Mm-hmm. And I charge $26 a martini. So we're doing good.
Be a little loose on it.
Yes, financially.
But also, there's a conundrum I don't even understand about martinis, and I enjoy drinking them probably for this reason. But there's like a paradox of martinis because if you drank the amount of alcohol outside of a martini glass that you're having in a martini, you would be plastered and vomiting on the street. But you put it in a classy glass, and suddenly I can drink straight vodka by the pound.
Yes.
How does it happen? There's like 4 shots minimum in a martini, and I'm good. I can have 3 of them.
Yeah. Well,
now I'm at 12 shots.
They used to.
You add a little bit of olive juice, and suddenly your body can handle more alcohol?
They had the 3 martini lunch, man, back in the Mad Men days. Those guys would go out for lunch.
Then they'd go back, and instead of pitching their ad campaigns, they would just sexually harass their staff.
Yes, it was such a better time.
It was a fun time.
Remember.
But why can you get drunk? Why can you drink more alcohol in a martini? I'm stunned by it.
The best time to be alive, pre-AIDS, mid-Coke.
Yeah.
That's the best time to be in America.
Post-birth control.
Pre-AIDS, mid-Coke.
Yeah, Coke was good for you. No one cared about Coke. They'd do it regularly. They'd pull it out at a party, wherever. They didn't think Coke was bad for you.
Yeah.
And AIDS hadn't been invented.
Coke has made a comeback.
Oh, it has.
But ketamine also now is going neck and neck with it.
Coke's back, huh?
Coke's back, but ketamine, I think, is the drug of choice these days at a party. But people will be like, which do you want? And then there's 2 white powder options. You have a lot of trust with people,
All right. Other thoughts?
Yep.
There was a tragic shooting, another school shooting, and they interviewed the top cop. I don't know. Where is it from? Was he this in Georgia? Wisconsin. Sorry, thanks. They interviewed the police chief, and they're asking questions about, is there a metal detector at the school and stuff like that. And he had a very wise solution for why there wasn't a metal detector at the school where a bunch of kids got shot. We'll play you the clip. But it's an answer, and in this answer lies the problem for every modern problem that is vexing us will be provided in his answer. We'll realize if people think this way, this is what we end up with.
What sort of gun-related policies, if any, were in place at the school, and did the school have metal detectors?
I'm not aware that the school had metal detectors, nor should schools have metal detectors. It's a school. It's a safe space.
All right. It's a safe space. Well, tell that to the 3 dead people who obviously the shooter did not recognize it as a safe space.
Maybe if somebody had told the shooter.
If someone should explain to the shooter that this was a safe space, then those kids would be alive.
This is supposed to be a safe space. It's a place for education.
Yeah, we don't need... schools shouldn't have metal detectors because they're safe spaces. The shooters understand they don't have metal detectors and that they're safe spaces so people don't return fire so they can easily kill people. I agree with him in theory. Schools shouldn't have to have that. So every time I drive underneath one of those walk bridges that go over the freeway, I think, why is there a cage going all the way up and around? And I think... because I think people jump off of those bridges and land on moving cars.
Yes.
And I think to myself, they shouldn't have to have that.
That's true.
But
they do.
They do.
And they throw rocks. They'll also throw rocks.
They'll throw fucking shit on your car. Okay. Yes, you could get hit by a cinder block or hit by a human being. So, which
would you rather, by the way?
I'll go with the human.
Yeah, I think so. Softer landing.
I would like them aesthetically just to have a nice railing, but they do not. So here's where the problem lies. A bunch of fucking retards like this guy who gets indignant about what schools should have. That's right. Nobody should this and nobody should that, and schools shouldn't, and kids shouldn't have to live in fear and all that. Okay, that being said, go get some fucking metal detectors because that's where we're at.
Yep.
I don't like the razor wire around the freeway signs in LA. It's really depressing to drive and look up in LA. But somebody keeps graffitiing on the signs, and so somebody had to put razor wire around the signs.
The latest is they steal the 405 or the 110. Like you don't know where the freeway is anymore because the kids are just snatching those.
Well, also just in general, they hide freeway on ramps.
That's what
it's
I mean.
Almost like it's like a escape room or some sort of a scavenger hunt. Yeah. They really it used to be a big production. You're getting on the freeway. There's huge signs, and now it's like on a residential street, like next to a house. It's a tiny little sign past it. You miss it 3 times.
I do always feel super sorry for those houses.
Yeah, horrible.
Like when you just go by.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know why the super depressing tableau of the kids' toys in the front of that house that all the fucking diesels are going by all day, every day. All right, so this guy's a police chief. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but he does not. The school's a safe zone where sometimes people get shot.
It's really striking to see him say that in front of that chyron that says 3 dead, 7 wounded.
Yeah.
And also, this shooting has upended a lot of the conventional wisdom of school shooting because this was a female shooter and she used a handgun.
Oh.
So,
Ben, I do want to say that Israel should not have to have an Iron Dome.
Right.
They shouldn't.
And they should just not do it. And then receive thousands of rockets a year without any protection.
Israel should be announced they're in a safe space.
You mean in an ideal world? Okay, then let's get rid of it.
I hate
That's a great argument.
Get rid of the
That's
Iron Dome because a country should not have to do that.
You're right. You're so right.
Canada doesn't have an Iron Dome. Mexico doesn't have one. The Netherlands don't. So why does Israel have to do that?
Everything should be the same regardless of statistics.
Shower valves and countries should all be the same. And no country should have to have an Iron Dome system.
Yeah, I think that's a great point.
That's a good point.
I think it should just be kind of what's it called? When everybody gets the same amount of pay for a thing?
Equity.
Right, sure.
Inclusion?
Equality.
Favored nations.
Yeah, I wonder what this guy would think about Iron Dome over in Israel because he technically you shouldn't have to have an Iron Dome.
true.
Is what I'm saying.
Technically, you shouldn't need armies, and then
right.
or police. People should just behave.
You shouldn't need locks on doors of your home.
True. Also, why in the worst areas, like people have homes near freeway on-ramps, is that when the toys are in the front yard?
Yes.
When even in better areas, you wouldn't put the toys in the front yard for safety reasons. But in the worst neighborhood, definitely put the toys in the backyard.
I will riddle you this, Ben Cleve.
Please.
I've passed through many a very nice neighborhood and seen the stupid sign that looks like there's a turtle with Down syndrome and a flag, and it says kid zone, slow zone.
Yeah.
Never seen a kid playing stickball on that street.
Never
seen one skateboarding or rollerblading. Never. Only in super expensive neighborhoods. Those kids have outdoor kitchens and trampolines and water slides in their backyard.
Yep.
All the shit neighborhoods where the kids are out in the street on the bikes and fucking running around and playing baseball and stuff, they're doing all that. Never seen one of those signs.
No.
We really,
because
I'd like to go to those neighborhoods and go, listen, Rich Whitey, who are you kidding?
Yeah.
I've not seen your kid on your front lawn ever.
We should do a program where we take the signs out of good neighborhoods, put them in worse neighborhoods. But I think they probably had the signs and they've just used it as like a bat for wiffle ball now or something in the front yard.
Or like a shield during a rock fight or something like that.
It's like a gladiator kind of a shield sword combo, baton combo.
When have you ever driven through Bel Air and seen kids playing on a front lawn?
Never.
Rare.
Kids have rare. It is never. It's
True.
like they have a home theater
never.
and the backyard has a lazy river in it. Mm-hmm. I mean,
and the sign always says slow, children playing. And I think they mean just like all children, not just slow children.
You know what it should say in those nice neighborhoods? It should say slow Mexicans gardening.
Yep.
Yes.
Because that's all I ever see is the guy with the leaf blower and his wife is sweeping the shit up and they're pushing this thing.
Did you know gardening is just all leaf blowing? I've just started studying my gardeners because I asked them to stop using the leaf blower by my outdoor table and ping pong table because it's just creating dust. Like a thin 1/2 inch layer of dust. And I look at them and they don't know what to do if they can't use the leaf blower. I want them to like manicure the garden and the plants and they're just blowing leaves. That's the job. They should just call themselves leaf blowing companies.
I totally agree. And also, it never ends up being gathered. It's like half in the neighbor's yard, half in your pool.
And it's half gathered like in my plants on the floor. They just keep them there.
I think
and they're just plumes of dust spilling around. It's making it worse.
I think that leaf blower is their sort of superpower. It's like their claim to fame. Like they're people that don't have much. Society shuns and looks down upon them. They have
kind of a Ghostbusters proton pack.
Yeah. There is no status they have, but when that leaf blower, all of a sudden the power of Zeus. You know what I mean? Like the super rich white chick is walking her labradoodle down the sidewalk and they spin around and the person has to like cower and walk across the street and stuff. It's a power.
And it's just a power to be able to also immediately ignore the person employing them.
I wish I had
so
one.
Loud. And then I'll ask them, do you mind turning out for a second? Quick thing. I need you to please trim the palm tree today. And they go, yeah.
They never get into an argument with their wives.
Right.
Except then the wife comes around the corner and goes, hey, you left your Hirachi.
Yeah.
Never an argument.
Yep. This is a fact.
No hassles.
Yeah. I don't understand what's happening with it. It's a problem for me.
They're illegal in Southern California.
They are?
In Los Angeles. Yes,
really?
Yes, I've gotten into this conversation many.
And they're flouting the law to keep these machines.
Yes.
They're illegal, but people are still using them. That's just how it's not enforced.
Well, we got different kinds. We got two kinds of illegal. We got illegal, like you parked your car in a zone for the street sweeper and it said 7 to 10 a.m. and we came by at 8 a.m. and your car was there. That you get a ticket every single time. And then there's somebody's using a leaf blower illegal, which nobody gets a ticket any of the time because it's a brown thing and they don't like the optics of it. So what we do is we go like jaywalking was illegal And then black people turned out did most of the jaywalking. And then they decided it was discriminatory because more black people got jaywalking tickets than non-black. So then they legalized jaywalking.
Oh, you mean crossing the street? I thought you meant the old
walking like
Tonight Show with Jay Leno segment. Where he's like, what is this piece of art? Is this a Mona Lisa? What is this? What do you think this is? Thought that was illegal, but we're doing it anyway.
That show, I mean, any show, first off, any show where how dumb Americans are, I'm done now.
Yeah.
Because when they just go out and they open up a map and they go find Mississippi, and Mississippi's labeled Mississippi and they can't find Mississippi, or they go name one founding father or something, nobody can do it.
Name the vice president, they can't do it.
Who did we fight in the Civil War? Why did we fight? So, like, I mean, you could ask one person on Mount Rushmore, just anything, and they got nothing. So I'm done with that. But yes, it is. Leaf blowers were outlawed in '99.
Interesting.
What?
Yes.
What's the reason? Because of the noise?
Yeah, hell
pollution, noise, everything. For all the reasons you hate.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate it. It just I can't. I don't understand it. But my pool ends up filled with a whole film of dust also because of this blower.
It's the worst. The worst is when you get your. There's two things. You're like driving home from the car wash and you have to drive through a cloud of soot that this guy's just firing up. They should 100% be illegal. They pollute more than a full-size pickup truck in a year. They pollute that much in 10 minutes because they run off two-stroke oil. They don't have catalytic converters. They're louder than shit, and we're fucked.
I have some two-stroke oil at home as well.
Yeah.
Very effective.
Standard.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's called two-stroke.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need a third. But.
All right, can we get rid of this? Show me that clip. Show me that cop clip one more time. I want you to... His words are retarded, but pay attention to the sound in the background that starts up in about 10 seconds.
I think you have to say his words are Down syndrome.
Down syndrome words. Yeah.
What sort of gun-related policies, if any, were in place at the school, and did the school have metal detectors?
I'm not aware that the school had metal detectors, nor should schools have metal detectors. It's a school. It's a safe space.
All right. Hear the backup beeper?
Yep.
In the back. I was awoken by one this morning. Could you imagine this utopia, this simple utopia? No more backup beepers, no more leaf blowers. I would sleep until 4 in the afternoon every single day.
I would love
I don't know if I'd ever wake up.
No.
They'd go, where's Carolla? He's been asleep. You said that 9 months ago. He's still there.
I also love that we just watched again a clip about a school shooting, and you're like, you hear in the background the beeping, and it bothers me in my sleep. That was what was really bothering
Those poor kids not only had to be exposed,
they also in their trauma have to hear this. But also, there's another issue here about this police chief. I realize not only is it ridiculous in a world with constant school shootings to be saying we shouldn't need metal detectors, but the one person who certainly shouldn't be saying it is the police chief.
I agree.
He's the guy whose whole job is to do anything to protect the people and keep the safety. So maybe like you can have your politicians saying we're going to pass legislation so that we don't need metal detectors. But the cop needs to say we're putting metal detectors in the morning. We should have done it already.
Well, no, you're right, because the cop's like, you shouldn't
need me to do anything.
To have a deadbolt on your front door, and you shouldn't need outdoor lighting, but that's the times we're living in.
Right.
And by the way, whenever they do those things where they go, what can we do? Like, here's what the police recommend. Okay. All the things the police recommends, I go, don't leave valuables in your car in view of whatever. When you leave the home, turn a light on. Make sure you have a good functioning, high-quality deadbolt on front door. An alarm system helps. Outdoor lighting. You know, all the stuff that you shouldn't have to do. Like, you should be able to climb out of your car, leave your computer on your passenger seat, and go back in the house. You should be able to do that. But that fucking cop would tell you you're a fool if you leave your computer on your passenger seat and you park your car in Oakland, that's on you.
Their solutions are just don't live. Their solutions are, well, all you have to do is don't leave the house. If you do, make sure you're wearing full catcher's equipment. Don't bring things with you.
No, here they tell you if you have a fancy watch, you leave it at home. You know, if you're going out, you're driving an expensive car,
put
make
on
sure
rags. Put on like a homeless outfit.
That's right.
Create the illusion that you're a homeless and you'll be safe from most crimes.
You know, I was going to cut this guy some slack, Joe, because he looks like Mike Singletary.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's Mike Singletary. This guy, that's not the Singletary.
This frame looks a little bit more like Tracy Morgan.
We need that. Yeah, I need a little more. There's somewhere in between where he looks like Mike Singletary. Yeah, I think that's the Mike Singletary shot. But anyway, Hall of Fame inside linebacker.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears. I don't have to tell you Jews about football.
Also, I don't know if you saw this other clip about this shooting, but the mayor of this town gave a speech, and her whole speech was about how upset she was that she and other legislators have to deal with it. It wasn't about the tragedy. She literally said no mayor should have to deal with this, and no police chief should have to deal with this, or fire chief. And let's try to work for a world where no public official ever again has to deal. It was all about her inconvenience of paperwork and having to make public statements.
Well, okay.
The kids were not mentioned in this speech.
Right. So let's drill down and think about this for a second. No. Okay. So I don't want anybody in charge who even says this is unacceptable. Because that's the new world orders. They go, they do a few things. They go, this is unacceptable. Well, bitch, accept it because it happened 25 minutes ago. So I'm glad that you don't accept it. But it's like saying, it's like me standing on the rubble that was my house after the earthquake and announcing this is unacceptable. You know what I mean? Okay, it happened and you couldn't undo it. Now, I could have earthquake-proofed my home by bolting it to the foundation, you know, getting out a roto-hammer.
Yeah, there's no way you could have expected an earthquake in the earthquake
Southern California. Yes, I'm saying, what is so different a scenario? You can earthquake-proof your home. I used to do it for a living. You crawl under your house, you drill holes in the footing, and you bolt your bottom plate to it with the all thread, and then you shear wall the cripple wall. Yes, we'll call miniature walls cripple walls in that business. You homos are arguing over whether you can say master bedroom or master suite or master whatever. We're still throwing cripple wall down back then. There's all miniature walls in the building world are just called crippled.
What? Yeah. What's the etymology of that?
It's not a full-size wall. It's a crippled wall. It's a miniature.
Okay.
So crippled people are typically smaller?
Yeah.
Well, they're not necessarily born shorter, but eventually they end up in a wheelchair or on those weird crutches that only go as high as your elbow.
Yeah.
Which somehow means you get the full-size crutches, you may be an NFL baller, but you get the weird polio one,
they don't
you
even
are
give
fucked.
You full-size crutches.
Yeah, they don't give you a full.
They want you only to heal to a certain degree.
Half crutch.
Yeah. Oh, we got Singletary and the cop together. Let's see if this.
There we go. Okay. There we go.
All right. I know. That's what we call a black simile.
Yeah, you're right.
You understand? It's a perfect example of a black simile. I'd like to just be in the press, and I'd be there, and the chick would be like, how about metal detectors? And he'd be like, there's no place for metal detectors, and these are schools, and they should be safe zones. During the 85 season, you guys ran a 4-2 or 4-4. Settle an argument. Yeah. Okay. And Richard Dent. Would you say he belongs in the Hall of Fame or not? Do you think Richard Dent should be in the Hall of Fame? I think he should be. Dan Hampton, you want to talk run stopper? Your thoughts?
You remember the Mike Singletary crazy press conference?
Yes.
When he was like, cannot win with him. Cannot play.
Yeah.
I would like to hear him responding like that to the metal detector.
I like Singletary because a lot of guys wear, a miniature crucifix around their neck to show their faith. Mm-hmm. He wears a full size. He would wear a cross the size of the one that Christ was nailed to around his neck.
Kill vampires.
He could kill vampires. Yeah, he could. Some a vampire would recognize.
That's pretty big.
He could hold this thing up. He could ward off a vampire. Most people have crosses where if they're trying to thwart a vampire, the vampire would stop and go like, "What? What is that?"
That just like tickles a little.
Yeah, is that a? I don't know. I can't see
kind of an itch.
your forefinger's covering up most of it, so I don't know what that is. Is that
More it's a plus sign now.
Is that a lowercase t? Is your name Tom? No, he had a full-size wooden crucifixion hung, and he was a badass. And yes, I would like him to be the police chief of any town.
Well, also, now that you bring up Christ, it brings me back to hotel rooms and standard items, because one of the things that isn't standard everywhere, but closest that you get in a hotel to standard
Gideon's.
is no, that's true. That's the most standard Gideon Bible, but is the soap that they use in most hotels is from the brand Gilchrist and Soames. You do see that everywhere. And wherever I've seen it my whole life, I always just think, really, after the soap company, Gill and Soames underperformed compared to Christ.
Yes.
Christ had a great second chapter.
Great run.
After the soap business.
Yeah.
And Gill and Soames, what have they done? Almost nothing.
Well, give them 3 days. They're dead now.
They disappeared. They seem to have disappeared.
3 days.
We got angry Singletary rant.
Nice.
By the way.
It's about the team. I cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it. I want winners. I want people that want to win.
Yeah, well, he fucking played hard-nosed ball in the 80s when they did battle, and all he knows is 100% all the fucking time.
What do you think the vibe was next time you saw the team? After that speech.
Not good.
They were like, bro.
They're bummed.
Under the bus.
Right?
Those guys don't care, though. I mean, they're hardcore, and he's more angry at them than they are at him. And
did he get personnel changes after that?
I'm guessing, well, he got changed.
He got fired.
Well, he injured himself dragging his crucifix across to shake the other guy's hand after the game, and he threw his neck out, so he was sidelined for a while, and he never came back. He never came back.
He's an intense man. That's just a single Terry. Imagine if you had a double or a triple Terry.
Or triple Terry.
Many Terrys.
And that would be a very serious guy. The booth is laughing hilariously at that.
All right,
I
so
don't expect it.
Getting rid of the leaf blower and getting rid of the backup beeper.
And make martinis standard again.
Make them standard.
And put metal detectors in all schools and martini bars, I think, at this point.
And so what I was getting to, which is any politician that announces this is unacceptable after it happened, or like when, remember when de Blasio during COVID was like, if one person dies, that's what... Okay, somebody died in the last 10 minutes, dumb fuck. Now make some decent fucking policy and stop telling me if one person died. Many multiples of one are going to die. We're going to be in the millions here. That's what's going to happen. Now you need to do something that saves some of the old people but doesn't fuck the kids up by locking schools for 3 years. But not announce one. One has already died, you fucking retard. And you can't say things that already happened are unacceptable. They already fucking happened. I don't know if you have this witch's speech, but this is taking soft, dumb people and putting them in charge, and all they know is fucking platitudes. Like they're sitting around going, you know, when these people come here to this country, they deserve dignity. They deserve a seat at the table. They just walked here from Honduras being raped every 20 feet. What they need is a fucking shelter and some slop. The dignity and the seat at the table, that's all. These are all, that's window dressing, bitch. And I don't even know what it means. You've just got raped here repeatedly and brought over on the back of a coyote, and you walked here from fucking Honduras, and that's not your real dad.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about when we're talking about dignity?
Yeah, I mean, probably not every 20 feet, but other than that, I take your point for sure.
Yeah,
That'd be an
could've been
enormous
15.
amount of rapes happening.
Could've been
but
50.
That might have been 50 or 100 feet, but
Oh, yeah, right. More.
it's not every 20 feet. It's a lot of.
You know
like,
what?
is there a line of them?
I used hyperbole.
It was a little bit of hyperbole, but I do agree. It's like when people are coming in for a better life, they don't need every luxury of the country they're coming to. They're just looking to not be
You
murdered.
know what a luxury dignity is? When you're fucking hungry and you're shoeless?
Well, that is also, I thought, was actually a brilliant strategy of the Republican governors in like Texas and Florida was shipping the
Best move ever.
illegals to like Rhode Island and like to Martha's Vineyard because all of a sudden everybody that was so wanting every immigrant here, they couldn't handle 100 of them.
No, I know.
These border towns are taking hundreds of thousands and they're fine. They couldn't handle 100.
No, but they're sanctuary cities where everyone deserves to be treated with dignity.
Theoretically, yes.
Right. Until somebody shows up.
Until anybody takes them up on that.
Right. So you're a sanctuary city until a bus pulls up and a bunch of migrants get off, and then you have no fucking idea what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a safe space until the bullets start flying, and then you don't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a lot of words. Also, speaking of words, you just made me think of another thing. You know, how earlier you said that it was a retarded thing you said, and I said, you got to say Down syndrome. And then I realized, really, what we should do to solve this problem also is just if a group doesn't like the derogatory version of a term being used, they should just stop using that term for themselves instead of making us not get to use the term for the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like being called retarded, then you should just say you have Down syndrome. But why can't we? Let's just make retarded only a word for dumb actions.
Yeah, I feel the same way with the N-word. So
I rescind my entire argument.
Hold on.
To that, yeah.
You found a hole in it very quickly.
Downs is a name.
Down? Yeah. Downs.
Well, there was Hugh Downs.
Hugh Downs. Yeah.
Hugh Downs was a famous anchor. 2020 with Hugh Downs. Did he invent Down syndrome? I mean, not him, but his grandfather.
His grandfather.
Yeah.
Great. Hezekiah Downs.
I'm Hugh Downs, and I have a touch of it. We'll be right back.
Is Down syndrome named after somebody?
Yeah. 100%.
Or is it because you're down? You've been detuned, like down round.
Or you're just sad about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty down about your syndrome.
Right.
Like, what's the origins of Down syndrome?
Got to be a doctor that figured it out.
Yeah, because nobody even
Dr. Downs?
Nobody even knew it was
some
Downs.
guy who had it, like Lou Gehrig's disease.
Right.
You think Lou Gehrig's also responsible for
I think
this?
that he's the one who named it Down syndrome.
Interesting. Today I consider myself the most Downy
Downest guy in the
Robert
world.
Downey
Yeah.
Jr.
The downest man in the world.
Here's the problem, okay?
So, is Down syndrome named after a guy who discovered
Gotta
it?
be.
Yes, named after John Langdon Down.
Langdon.
A British physician who was the first to accurately describe the physical characteristics of the condition.
And isn't that unfortunate? You know what I mean? Because I do. No, because when I think Down syndrome, I think down. Like
Right.
I look
It's
at
the wrong name.
Well, what I'm saying is up. You go. He's up. He's peppy. You know. He's on his feet. You know. He's having a good day.
Yeah.
He's upbeat. He's upbeat.
Yeah.
Up. You know, sort of good. That guy. You know, upbeat would mean sharp and on top of it, and fast on his feet and stuff like
Downbeat.
that. Down just feels.
I feel you, but I think you could be down with the syndrome, and you're pretty cool.
Oh, you're down with
You're
the
down with the
syndrome.
Down with the syndrome.
That's interesting. But I feel like if his name was Up or like Dr. Upton, they wouldn't have probably named the syndrome after him.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
People would have misunderstood it.
It would come across. It'd be more palatable if it was.
So you think it would have been good if,
like,
if Down
bro, you're-
syndrome was called Up syndrome?
Well, let's put it to you this
You
way.
think they'd be accepted more easily in society?
I'd be like, you're an uptard.
Well, they're
You'd still have tard
they're
in
up
there.
a chromosome.
I worked with a plumber named Bob Joya.
Nice.
Joya. You know what I mean? Joya syndrome sounds like a much happier
It's a
place to
great
be
syndrome.
than Down syndrome.
It's a great
You
syndrome.
know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you.
It's a Kamala Harris syndrome. It's all about joy.
And also, then you get back to you're so brat. Then you get back to oh God, what's her name who sung Titanic?
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion.
Shall we go for it?
She has stiff person disease.
Yeah, which I wish I had that. You know what I mean?
She
I have the
fucking
opposite
wishes it was named after the guy who invented it or discovered it.
Right.
She's just
doesn't
called
wanna-
stiff person.
Hers is just described exactly.
Wait,
instead
what?
of being called.
What? She's stiff? Like literally stiff?
I'm saying,
I think
all
it
right,
makes you a little
we
stiff.
need
I haven't
some
really looked into it.
uniformity in shower valves, martini sizes, and
How we name
disease naming.
diseases. Yep.
Because one's after a guy's name, but it could be something else because Downs means something. She's named Lou Gehrig is, Lou Gehrig. She's got stiff. Okay. Crohn's is just called Crohn's.
Right. That's the guy's. They got to be a guy's name.
Yeah,
That's
but we're nice enough to go, let's call it Crohn's. Let's not call it shits all over the fucking office disease.
Right.
But then with her, she's got stiff
I
person
know.
disease.
But those are also good for the sufferer. But do the doctors that discover these things get to weigh in whether it gets named after them?
I would
let's
think
say
so.
you discover people that are shitting all over the place, and they're like, it's called Crohn's disease, and you're like, no. I don't need every time now my name being associated with shitting. You go check in at a restaurant. And you're like, hey, it's Dr. Crohn's. No thanks.
I mean, think about the face you'd make if Dr. Crohn's was swinging by
It
you.
ruins his life. He's doing the world a favor discovering this disease. And he can't go to a restaurant.
And what happened to his milkshake company?
Yeah, it's gone.
Stiff person's disease would be called Morsch and Waltman disease.
Morsch and
Waltman. Yeah, but it didn't catch on.
Not catchy.
So,
You know who
they're the guys who found it.
You know who figured this shit out? Bob Jacuzzi. That fucking guy was like, I will be in the baby making, pleasure getting, dick sucking, champagne popping. Every fucking day you spend inside of my name is going to be a good day.
That's a great that name. I would accept that
fucking
name.
Jacuzzi guy was a fucking genius. And if you met some guy, oh yeah, you know Jack Jacuzzi, you'd go, oh fuck that guy, I like that guy. I don't like that fucking Dr. Crohn's over
Mr.
there.
Jacuzzi, come on in.
Jacuzzi, right this way. Crohn's, we wait over there. Try not to shit up the space.
Yeah, Crohn's, you're not allowed in this jacuzzi.
Who would you invite to your Super Bowl party?
Yeah,
Dr. Crohn's or Bob Jacuzzi?
Jacuzzi's in, man.
And then I'll have Zamboni along with Jacuzzi.
Zamboni.
Have a nice watch the hockey game.
Yeah, Zamboni, he brings limited pleasure, but he's smart.
He's a smart guy.
To name
Technical.
that machine. They both sound like paisans to me. Like I've never Jacuzzi and Zamboni like ever hung out.
Yeah, and then in the corner they're hanging out, and Dr. Downs is just sad over there.
He's over there with Crohn's.
Never
just
getting
fucking
seated.
Crying.
Crohn's and Downs just sitting there like a bunch of sad sacks.
The Zamboni can't be much older than the Jacuzzi.
No.
They got to be about the same time.
Technical
right?
level of like water heating and also ice smoothing. There's like, yeah.
I'm so lucky I didn't have a magic wand because when I was like 9, if you took me to a Kings game and said, would you like the job of the guy who drives a Zamboni? And I go, yeah. And they go, but it'd be for 80 years. I'd go, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I get to fucking drive that Zamboni.
Yeah, you're probably allowed to have snacks up there. You're probably going to have candy up there.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's waiting. They're all waiting on you.
Also, it's physically impossible to be at a hockey game and the Zamboni hits the ice and not watch it change the texture of the ice every way it goes. You have to watch it.
Something
I can't
about
look
it.
away.
You're right.
I just love seeing it go from ice to different color of ice.
Yeah. Well, okay. All right. So let's figure this out.
It's like watching the screensaver on your DVD go around.
Hopefully it hits the corner.
The Zamboni invented in 1949 in California. It's a weird place to invent an ice resurfacer, but that's us.
Strange.
All right. The Jacuzzi, 68. Okay, so there is
68.
Man, it seems a little late for a Jacuzzi.
Very late.
They were developing the water pumps though in 48. So right around the same time. Then
Well,
they
I'm
put it in
saying
water.
Zamboni and Jacuzzi are they're 19 years apart, right? And they're both adults. They had to show up at a cocktail party.
They're contemporaries.
Where did Zamboni Zamboni lived in California. Now, if Jacuzzi lived on the East Coast, that's California feels very Jacuzzi.
But I'm saying these guys are jet setters. Jacuzzi
They're
and
mobile.
Zamboni. That's a buddy comedy if I ever heard one.
Or it's a law firm. Here at the law firm of Jacuzzi and Zamboni.
Jacuzzi is
And you
headquartered
slip on the ice, you drown in a hot tub, you see us.
in Irvine, California.
Jacuzzi is.
Wow. Both California boys.
All right, and where was Zamboni and Jacuzzi knew each other.
100%.
There's no doubt about it.
It's just like Rizzoli and
Zamboni
Isles.
was developed in Paramount, California.
I'm astounded.
Kind of a ride.
I'm astounded nobody sat in hot water before 68. There was no jets in a hot water before 68?
I think hot tubs existed, but jacuzzis are like Xerox machines. You know, it's like a type. It's like a brand
standard.
Oh,
and they're so good that they became
that's interesting.
Ubiquitous. The title. Find a picture of Zamboni and Jacuzzi together, like from '74, because they had to have hobnobbed. They're both rich and powerful Italian men.
Mm-hmm. And even if they didn't hobnob, they're definitely, I'm sure they exist. They were wearing suits with the collars out. They were like really like socialites. They were men about
their
town.
mothers went to church together.
For sure. Hey, Phil Zamboni.
Hey, Bob Jacuzzi, how are you?
Hey, it's great to see you.
Hey.
Adam.
Listen, I know I missed your kid's wedding. It's a little something for
Here's
Troy.
Here's
a little something.
Here's a little coupon for 50 off some bubblers, huh?
Hey, how's that frozen lake treating you? It's good. It looks like it'd be a little smoother.
You know, the ice in this cocktail reminds me of a great day in my life. Here he goes again.
Wait, I'm Jacuzzi or Zamboni?
Right now, I don't know. I became Zamboni.
Are they both? They both got to be a talent show. Your dad would know this.
I can do you